I said 4:15, so we're 4 perfect. Okay, we're previewing, we're excellent connection, and should be live, folks. Here, we're getting a little cloud height. Just want to test my text message. This one is
Mic check, 1 2 3, beautiful, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, Isaac's mic, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Isaac's mic is good.
Is there an event that you would like announced right here on the RPR network? Please email the details at least 2 weeks in advance to Therese at realpresenceradio.com. That's Therese at realpresenceradio.com.
Big Rig Barbecue Sandwiches, Pizza Ranch Pizza, SDSU Ice Cream and Cotton Candy. And also, make sure you put the fall play on your calendar. I will get those dates for you in a little bit. Here they are. Carol on the High Seas will be our O'Gorman High School presentation for their fall play. Will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 7th, 8th, and 9th. 7 p.m. Thursday and Friday, 7:30 on Saturday night. Be in the Lorraine Theater at O'Gorman High School. So let's get together and do lunch. Peril on the High Seas.
Okay, it says I'm connected.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3 4 1 2. I'm not used to using the fancy headsets. I'm used to using the old ones. All right, folks, we are getting close. The audio meters are going up. That's good. I moved the tablet over here, Isaac, so it doesn't overheat like it did the Roosevelt game. Remember, like you're going to go to break. I'm looking at like it's too hot.
It's not working.
It's not working. You're like, oh, we're gonna stay right here.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good time.
Let's see. Are you pretty much ready?
Yeah, we're good to go.
And I guess I don't have to look really. I'm just gonna open up the Simian real quick before we start, just so I at least don't have to log into that middle. Basically, at 7 o'clock, then they'll switch us over to network. I don't even have to do anything.
Okay.
They'll just do. At least that's what I think.
That's easy enough.
So try to remember at 7 o'clock if you can that we're actually on the radio too.
Okay.
And the app, because we're not the radio, the app, and online. None of that will be till 7. We're only on YouTube. So if someone's texting you, you can just tell them go to our YouTube page. Oh shoot! Why am I dying? Okay. Oh, the jerseys, though.
You like the grays?
I like the blue. The blue top's the best. Yeah. Oh shit! But like blue's my favorite color, but to me, I always like the blues. All right. Okay. Play the open, and right now, turn 4 up here. And so this is actually, this volume here, this is yours, Isaac. Mm-hmm. That controls like how loud this tablet is. So if a tablet's too loud and you want to turn it down.
Okay.
And this is just your headset. So if I'm too loud or something, that's up or down. So this is like tablet, this is headset.
Okay.
You're listening to a special presentation from the Real Presence Radio Network. On Real Presence Radio, welcome to the Knights Game Day Show.
Welcome, everyone, to McEnany Field at O'Gorman High School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where we have the 58th annual Sioux Falls O'Gorman High School homecoming football game this afternoon. The 1 and 2 Knights square off against the number 2 ranked Brandon Valley Lynx at 3-0 on the season. I'm Isaac Struck with Real Presence Radio, and today I'm not joined by Dan Johnson. I'm joined by our broadcast extraordinaire, producer extraordinaire, the whole 9 yards, Michael Jordan in his prime, Brett Byler, who you will hear from shortly.
Kobe Bryant in his prime.
True. Well, Gorman comes into today's game with a 39-17 record in homecoming games and are looking to end their 2-game losing streak with a very, very tough game coming up against Brandon Valley, led by a strong defense who has 2 shutouts in their first 3 games this season. So now I'm joined by Brett Byler in the booth today, and O'Gorman is concluding homecoming week with this big football game tonight versus Brandon, and it can't get much better than that.
No, Isaac, and I think you can really talk more about this than me being a former O'Gorman grad just a couple years ago and also an O'Gorman football player. Homecoming week, and even going back when I was in my high school days, that was always a little bit of a different week leading up to that football game with a lot of going on other than your normal football practices and a lot of extracurriculars. You have your homecoming, your variety shows, and all that fun stuff. And I think it's fun as a football team too to play a very good opponent like Brandon Valley. I know, like when I was in high school, a lot of times we'd schedule the easy teams and beat them, which I mean, it's 45-0. I don't think that was it's fun to win the game, but you kind of like to be challenged. And I think this challenge might bring the Knights up a notch today playing a Brandon Valley team. But just in your experience, talk about how homecoming week may be different than some of the other weeks for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And playing a team like you just said, like playing a team like Brandon on your homecoming is just so much different because I'm used to back when I was in high school, the scheduling of the Sturgis Brown Scoopers and the 50-0 halftime leads and whatnot. But now you're getting good opponents year in and year out. We've had Washington a couple of times, now Brandon Valley, and you just get to wrap up what's a really, really exciting homecoming week with all of the extracurricular activities going on, the coronation of the homecoming king and queen, everything leading up to this big football game, and what a big football game it is for the O'Gorman Knights tonight.
All right, Isaac, people can tune in today. It's a little bit different, so listen closely right now, folks. The only way you can actually listen or watch us right now is on YouTube. That's Real Presence Radio, Sioux Falls. Our fall live drive is actually going on the air network-wide for Real Presence Radio till 7 o'clock tonight. So after 7 o'clock tonight, you can go to 94.3 and 94.3 and 91.3, and also on our website, Real Presence Radio, and on our app. But till that point, from now till 7 o'clock, go to YouTube, Real Presence Radio, Sioux Falls. Quick thought, really quick, Isaac, on the Washington game for O'Gorman last week. They lost 24-0. Maybe, this is Coach Poppinga's 6th year coaching, maybe the ugliest offensive game I've seen from O'Gorman in 6 years. A lot of mental mistakes, only 8 first downs. The theme of my interview, which we'll hear in a little bit from Coach Poppinga, was the mental mistakes. Being a former player of his and knowing the coaching staff as you do, talk about what you think was this week of preparation and how, with the mental stuff, how much is that on the players, on the coaches, on both of them working together? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, in a game like last weekend in President's Bowl, and you're playing a team like Washington, coming into the game, you know that you're undersized and not as physical as Washington is, knowing that you're going to have to play a smoother, clean mental game, and they did the exact opposite of that. And that's incredibly frustrating to Coach Poppinga and his staff, as they always preach to play fast, play smart, and to play to win. And playing smart is something that O'Gorman usually takes pride in, but just after a game like that, the coaching staff definitely hammered it down all practice week this week, just to make sure that you hammer out all the things that you need to do mentally in order to prepare for this ball game. So I really think they're going to come out, play a really clean, execution-wise game today.
Well, no, this is the difference, too, I've seen this year with the Knights, and maybe that's a new quarterback and a new system, is they've had a couple of times in the start of the ball games where coaches had to call a timeout just to get the right play in, or the time's running out, and you never saw that when your quarterback and Hunter and different Tegan. So we'll see how that, I think it's part of its new quarterback, new players. So let's quickly talk about the Brandon Valley Lynx. They're number 2 defending state champion Lynx, and Isaac, they have won 12 games in a row. Their winning streak started was against us last year on Brandon Valley, and you remember that play where they got the first down by less than it's so close on that play by Slack. They lost their last game was to Roosevelt in the season opener last year, 23-21. Their defense is playing really well right now. Defeated Roosevelt last week 12-7, allowing only 98 total yards to the Rough Riders in the game. And then both their running backs rushed for over 100 yards, Jordan Johnson and Peyton Egan. So last year, O'Gorman found themselves, Isaac, in a similar situation, dropping that ugly game to Lincoln at Howard Wood. Had a 2-game losing skid out. This year, have a chance to do something similar with a familiar opponent in Brandon Valley, which will be a difficult matchup for O'Gorman today. Do you expect some extra enthusiasm for the Knights on the sideline tonight?
Well, absolutely. You're going to be pumped up, getting ready to play a homecoming game, especially coming off of 2 losses that you really have a sour taste in your mouth over. Now you get an opponent that's knocked you out of at least 3 times in a row in the past couple of years, and you're just trying to get back on the winning track. And now you get it in front of your homecoming fans, your homecoming crowd. You're getting in a juiced up, highly electric crowd today. Nothing better than that Friday homecoming game. And you're just going to have extra enthusiasm knowing that this is kind of like one of those make or break games in the season where this is a chance to really turn your season around at home against a good opponent.
How do you expect the Knights offense, Isaac? You know Poppinga really well. He's a great play caller. To try to turn things around after last week's poor offensive performance, it doesn't help us. We're taking on a defense that's only allowing 154 yards a game, and in 3 total games, they've allowed -1 rushing yards.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're going to come into the game and try to really simplify the offense. Just take that one read at a time. Make sure that we're spreading the wealth the best that we can, but also limiting mistakes by calling easier plays, trying to get outside, run along the perimeter, use some of your receivers in that bunch set to block on the perimeter. I think that we're just going to see a really consistent, balanced attack offensively today for the Knights.
And on the Knights defensive end, Isaac, you've played Brandon Valley. We've seen them. They're very similar with a power running game a lot of times. They also usually have a lot of good athletes as receivers as well. But they really, if they could, I feel like they would run the ball every time they could. They ran the time out of the clock in Roosevelt in that last 7 minutes of the game just running. Do you think our number one priority defensively tonight has to be to try to slow down Brandon Valley's rushing attack?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we really got to limit Brandon on the ground. They're just going to be able to move the ball efficiently and effectively to the best of their abilities, and that's just always what Brandon has preached. They always have bigger guys up front. They like to ride between their linemen, their tackles, and push the ball downfield. And in a game like this, you got to make sure that we're giving ourselves chances on offense. If Brandon's just consistently bleeding the clock on us like they did, or like Washington did against us last week, that time of possession does not favor O'Gorman very well. We'd rather have our offense on the field more times than not on the field. Not saying that the defense isn't good. The defense is fantastic, but when you're out there from over half of the game or even more,
you can't get really a good rhythm offensively by just sitting on the sidelines.
When your defense is out there playing 3/4 of the time of the game, it's a lot tougher to stay hydrated, not get tired, and so on. So we just need to make sure we shut those drive downs as early as we possibly can.
All right, it's a scoreboard update for tonight. We have a lot of games going on this Friday night, starting at 5 o'clock over at Howard Wood, Rapid City Stevens against Sioux Falls Lincoln. At 6 o'clock, a plethora of games, Pierre at Douglas. Sioux Falls Washington at Harrisburg. That should be a good one at 6 o'clock tonight. Isaac 2-1 Washington against 3-0 Harrisburg. Spearfish is at Sturgis Brown. One of those teams will have to win. They're both defeated, 0-3. At 7 o'clock, Sioux Falls Jefferson is at Yankton. Also at 7T area at Mitchell. Aberdeen Central 3-0 as they bump down to AA at Brookings tonight, who's 2-1. Brookings has won 2 in a row after losing their home opener. And Watertown rounds out tonight at Huron. Both of those two teams are 1-2. Tomorrow there is one game, 6 o'clock at Howard Wood. It's Rapid City Central against Sioux Falls Roosevelt.
Yeah, so some really good games on the slate tonight. Going to be paying attention to those closely as well. Just especially with games that are happening at the same time as us, it's always fun to get score updates throughout that one. So coming up next, Brett Byler had a chance to sit down and talk to first-year Brandon Valley head coach Matt Christensen to find out what the Lynx need to do tonight to get a victory. And that interview is next on the Night's Game Day show here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Is there an event that you would like announced right here on the RPR Network? Please email the details at least 2 weeks in advance to Therese at realpresenceradio.com. That's Therese at realpresenceradio.com. We can help spread the word about what's happening at your parish and in your diocese. Again, that email address is Therese at realpresenceradio.com.
Here at Catholic Family Services, we believe counseling is for everyone. Catholic Family Services is here to help whether you are navigating a life transition, such as going to college or changing career paths, wanting to improve your communication skills, making plans for your future family, or wanting to understand mental health. If you would like more information or to set up an appointment with one of our trained professionals, call Catholic Family Services at 605-988-3775.
Welcome back to the Night's Game Day show. I'm now joined by Brandon Valley football coach Matt Christensen. Coach, your team's coming off a 12-7 President's Bowl win over Sioux Falls Roosevelt last Saturday. Your defense in that game didn't allow any points. Why was your defense so effective in that ball game against the Roosevelt offense?
Yeah, we've got a lot of fast, tough kids who don't, stay blocked. Dominic Tucker, Christian Jefferson, Owen Warren, Isaac Johnson, Thomas Risty are really hard to block up front. We got linebackers who are tough and quick. They buy in, they do their job. They're happy to, sacrifice for the team if it means to take on a block a certain way so another guy gets credit or a stat. They're happy to do that. Our safeties, Max Van Westen and Tyler Brees, are super smart and really experienced. So that makes a lot of difference too.
And Coach, your offense, I was watching the game on YouTube at that last quarter, and your offense was able to run out the clock, basically just running the ball every play and getting first downs. How impressive was that for your offense to do that, knowing the Roosevelt defense has to know you're going to try to run the ball there?
Yeah, extremely important. We love clock control and ball control, self-control, having the winning culture that Chad Garrow's established, that we will do whatever it takes to win. Like, we don't care if we win fancy or pretty, or we care if we win the game, and that's all there is to it. And we're just really proud that our offensive line established itself early and late. We had 7-minute drives to start the game and end the game. It's a great defense to have your offense have the ball, as the saying goes. Brady Copeland, Sam Wydula, and Navarro Shunke, Nate Myers, Andrew Bunkers really, just took over the game, and they just said, we're gonna finish it right here.
Now, Coach, let's move forward to today's matchup against Sioux Falls O'Gorman. It'll be the Knights' homecoming game. What stands out to you watching the Knights on film this year about the squad that you're going to be facing tonight?
Yeah, great team, sort of athleticism, toughness. Jason Papaga and Shannon Papaga and Vinny Olson and the boys really coach them up, and they always have. We've had lots of battles with them going way back to Pier. And a lot of respect for their staff and the assistant coaches they brought in. They make you defend the whole field really intelligently. They put up a lot of first downs and yards on Harrisburg. But yeah, O'Gorman guys, they really fill hard. They tackle well. They know what they're doing, that's for sure. They know every adjustment and every check automatic that they got to go to fit certain formations and make sure they're in the right positions.
And Coach, defensively, you mentioned how O'Gorman makes you cover the whole field. How important will it be defensively tonight against the Knights to kind of win those early downs and tackle well against an offense that likes to do the screen game?
Yeah, super important. If you don't tackle well, you're just not going to win many football games, and you can't grab these guys high. You got to get a hold of them low. You got to get a lot of people there, and that's what they try to prevent. Intelligently, offenses don't want you having a crowd of guys wherever the ball is. It's super important to know the situation, know the area of the field, know the position on the field. The hash marks matter. Space matters always on a football field more than ever. Early downs, late downs, got to make them punt. The takeaway battle will be huge tonight for sure as we protect the football, and Gorman tries to do the same, of course.
And finally, Coach, on your offensive end, I know Harrisburg had a lot of success running the ball against O'Gorman's defense. Is that something tonight we're probably going to see a heavy dose of your running game against the Knights?
Yeah, for sure. If it's working, and if we'll see what the defense is doing to adjust to our formations, and it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing, where some defenses just don't want to allow you to do that. They're not interested in letting you have any space in the run game. Definitely, we like running the ball. We always have. Chad Garrow established that a few years ago, where we shifted from tossing it all over the field and spread formations to packing it in tighter and really trying to muscle up on teams. And we're fortunate that our linemen lift a lot of weights and have really grown themselves into the men they are.
Thank you so much, Coach, for your time, and good luck today against Sioux Falls O'Gorman.
Thanks very much, Brett.
We'd like to thank Coach Matt Christensen for his time. First-year coach, his kind of intern right now at Chad Garrow, and his health concerns that he has right now. Coach Garrow does have a Caring Bridge page on the Brandon Valley website if you want to see if you can help him and his family out. Coming up next is my interview with Jason Poppinga, and that is coming up after the break.
Hello, this is Mark Konzemius, president of the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota. Preparing for the end of life can be overwhelming, even scary. Yet as disciples of Christ, we live in great hope and the reality of God's promise that death is not the end, but a new beginning. The End of Life Planning Workbook for Catholics is now available. I encourage you to reach out to one of our Catholic Community Foundation offices or ccfesd.org. May God bless each of us on our journey to heaven.
Early in his time as the new bishop of the Diocese of Sioux Falls, Bishop Donald DeGrood sensed in prayer the vision that the Lord has for the diocese in our time: lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. That is, for each and every Catholic in Eastern South Dakota to receive God's love, to be in personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and to share that love with others. Find out more at sfcatholic.org/vision and discover the exciting and beautiful part you have to play in God's plan.
Welcome back to the Knights Game Day Show. I'm now joined by Sioux Falls O'Gorman football coach Jason Poppinga. Coach, we're coming off a 24-0 loss to Washington in the President's Bowl last Saturday. No talking to you before the game. You wanted to get out to a quick start, try to put out 14 points in that first quarter. Well, the opening kickoff was a good start. Manny Struck ran that all the way back to about the 25 of Washington. Then you guys turned it over on downs after that. Just talk about having that momentum of getting that kick return, but then not being able to cash in with points after that.
Yeah, I mean, our kids really weren't ready to play. I mean, everything we had talked about, we didn't really accomplish. And, we had made mistakes the whole game. Our defense, played well enough. I mean, granted, we feel like our defense can still get better. We feel like, their drives, that they had a bunch of sustained drives that ate up a lot of clock. And, offensively, we just didn't get very many plays in. But, offensively, it was, guys doing the wrong job, being in the wrong spot, making the wrong reads. I mean, it was just one of those things where it steamrolled on us. And, we just played a bad football game. And we're going to obviously have to turn that around. We're going to see a better team tonight with Brandon. Brandon than what we saw, I think, against Washington. But, we're going to expect to win, and if our kids play well, we will.
How frustrating is that for you, Coach? Offensively, I know with just the execution, I know you had to call 2 timeouts, I think, early in the game with a time running out with your offense on the field, and then only 181 yards of total offense in that ball game. And just talk about how we need to do better moving forward in those areas.
Yeah, it's just mental execution for the most part. Guys not focusing. And granted, we got a few guys in different spots, getting calls in, and, we're struggling still a little bit with that, and the inexperience that we have at quarterback and in the system and getting plays called. And, that first drive, twice we had motions called and we didn't motion the guy. So, right there we were in a bad situation where, we're not running the play. Running backs that missed the hole. It was one of those perfect storms, I guess you can say, for poor execution. We made Washington look really good, and that's fine, I guess. But, right now we need to start turning it around and play good football.
Coach, you mentioned your opponent, alluded to him, Brandon Valley, 3-0, number 2 in state right now, coming off a win over Sioux Falls Roosevelt last week in the President's Bowl. Brandon Valley's defense has not allowed a point in 2 of their 3 games this year, pitching shutouts. Last week, the only points was a pick 6 for Rosie. What are the biggest challenges that defense, who's playing really well right now, present to your offense?
Well, they have really good, secondary. Their corners are really good. So, on the outside, it's a struggle. They're able to man those guys up, and nobody's really been able to beat them. And up the middle, they're always they have 4-man front, a strong run game, and their secondary just never gives up big plays. They're always, they'll bend a little bit. They'll give, yards here and there, but they're never going to give up the big play, and being able to sustain drives is something, high school teams struggle with. For us, that's been the same thing. We're going to have to go and put 12, 13 play drives together like we did in the Harrisburg game and execute at a high level and be able to get 5-6 yards and get first downs. Those are all, good football things we're going to have to be able to do in order to put points on the board against them.
Defensively, Coach, Brandon Valley, at the end of that Roosevelt game, the last 7 minutes, they basically just ran the ball and ran out the whole clock without Rosie being able to stop them. Big offensive line, how big a priority will be tonight defensively to try to slow down that rushing attack?
Well, it's always is that, with Brandon Valley, the entire time that we've been here, whether it was a state championship game or semifinal games or whenever it is that we play Brandon, we've played them a lot, in the last 5 years. It's always been, can you stop their inside power? Can you stop their inside zone and ISO game? And then they're always good enough to go out, and throw the deep ball and get the big play once you've committed enough guys, to stopping the run. So our linebackers have a really big challenge. Defensive front has a big challenge as far as maintaining gaps and flying to the football, and our secondary has to be good enough to not give up that big play. And, if all things come together, we're going to have a shot to win. They're a great opponent and another chance for us to prove that, we're not as bad as what we've played in the last couple games and hopefully get back in the win column.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck today.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, Brett.
We'd like to thank Coach Poppinga for his time as always. Stay tuned for more after the break as we introduce our Keys to Victory segment and go over some of our players to watch for tonight on the Night's Game Day show here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Need repairs on gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors? Sioux Equipment Company can help. They serve Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company also offers services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment. Sioux Equipment Company at 605-334-1653 is a supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
Upon graduation from O'Gorman High School, you will receive far more than a diploma. You get the values of a Catholic education, the support and reach of thousands of alum from across the country, the knowledge that you can become who you were meant to be, and our community will be right there by your side. You belong in blue. O'Gorman High School.
Welcome back to Real Presence Radio Network here at O'Gorman High School as we get ready to introduce our Keys to Victory. We're going to alternate these back and forth, if that's okay with you here, Brett. But first of all, a key to coming up for a victory tonight is stopping the run. O'Gorman has given up 151 rushing yards to Washington last week, and Brandon has rushed for 233 last week alone against Sioux Falls Roosevelt, so it's going to be important to make sure that we contain running back Jordan Johnson and Peyton Egan, who both ran for over 100 yards.
Limit turnovers, Isaac. We've had 5 turnovers in the first 3 games. We need to also limit mental mistakes, the penalties, the offsides, all that stuff tonight against a good Brandon team.
Absolutely. We also have to get off the field defensively. Brandon has had 2 7-minute drives versus Roosevelt last week, and we had that big drive that we gave up against Sioux Falls, Washington last week. We got to make sure that we get off the field on defense.
O'Gorman's offense needs to sustain drives, 12 to 13 play drives, just like Harrisburg game. They had 2 of those. So we need to keep our offense on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And also offensively, we have to move the ball through the passing game. We can't just expect to gain yards on the ground tonight because we allowed Brandon's only allowed -1 rushing yards.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard of that stat. But Jefferson did throw for 263 against them, so we got to make sure we gain some yards through the air.
Finally, take care of our home field, the emotion of the homecoming game. I think this crowd and this environment will bring some energy to O'Gorman.
Absolutely. You got to be fired up to be here on a homecoming game like this. Now our pick-to-click players for tonight's ball game. I think that a low-key player to look out for that you can't really use as your pick-to-click, but we've got a couple of new guys at the offensive line. I just want to point out Joe Niedringhaus and Nate Ratzloff, new starters on the line of scrimmage for the O'Gorman Knights offensively. Got to watch out for them to be solid starters up front and hopefully get that running game going. But my pick-to-click tonight, I'm going to go with Rush Landry. I think he's going to have a good game defensively and get into the backfield, but he's also going to have a couple of catches on the perimeter. One of them might go for 6 in that short goal line stand.
I think I'm going to go with Peyton Hagee as maybe a receiver that could surprise someone tonight. Also, our punter and our kicker, but I think he had a couple of plays last week against Washington where he just missed a long pass play, so he might be someone tonight to look out for O'Gorman.
Absolutely, and then Lucas Slack, who started last year at quarterback for Brandon, is a player to watch out for, as well as Dominic Tucker, the senior, the nose tackle. There's a couple other names to look out for Brandon tonight, but we will see that on the field. Coming up next on the Knights Game Day Show, we'll have our priest prayer and some more final wrap-up before we head into the football game today on Homecoming here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Hi, this is Brett Byler, Area Account Executive with Real Presence Radio. Did you know the signal of Real Presence Radio reaches an audience of over 2.4 million people across North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, and Wyoming? Have you ever thought about running radio spots on the RPR network? We want to partner with you to help gain exposure for your business in front of a very faithful customer base. To find out more about the options, please call me, Brett Byler, at 605-670-8333.
I'm Bishop Donald DeGrood. I'd like to invite you to the Through God's Love Conference on Saturday, October 30th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. Over the last few months, we've been spreading the word about the diocesan vision, lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. Now I'd like to invite you to participate in this conference, where we will help you respond to God's call and in turn help others know and love Him themselves. Visit sfcatholic.org and join me in the renewal the Holy Spirit is working in our diocese.
On the Real Presence Radio Network, O'Gorman Knights Football is on the air. Brought to you by
Catholic Family Services, Catholic Community Foundation of Eastern South Dakota, Jardine Construction, Barnett Vision Clinic, Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools, McGuire Iron, Sioux Equipment Company, Ferendorf Family Chiropractic and Wellness, Closets and More, and JMJ Caseworks. The BB Agency, Knights of Columbus Insurance, Crossroads Book and Music, Pizza Ranch, and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street.
Kickoff to tonight's game is just moments away. With all the exciting action of O'Gorman Knights football, let's go to the field.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School here for the annual homecoming game set to kick off between Brandon Valley and the O'Gorman Knights.
Referee Jim Rackets Jr.
All right, Isaac, let's start it off as we like to start off every game with a prayer, and today's prayer is by Father Chuck Simple. Father?
Hello, this is Father Chuck Simple of Holy Spirit Parish here in Sioux Falls. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Father in heaven, we ask your blessings upon the athletes participating in this upcoming sporting event. Give each one of them the courage to play this game in a manner by which their words and actions are pleasing to you. Let them enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and with respect for each athlete that is participating in this event. Bless, O Lord, the athletes, the coaches, officials, and parents. Keep all under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ, and help all to be aware of his presence with us in this game. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. A couple small pointers before this game gets underway. This is the 29th meeting between these two teams. O'Gorman leads the series 16-12. Brandon won the last meeting on September 4th of 2020 at Brandon 20-14. The Lynx got 181 rushing yards from Tate Johnson, while holding O'Gorman only to 50 rushing yards on 29 carries in that game. Jackson Hilton had a 67-yard touchdown catch, but O'Gorman beat Brandon Valley back in the 2020 state title game, and that was Jason Poppinga's first state title at O'Gorman, and he's 2-5 against Brandon Valley all time as an OG coach. Jason Poppinga is 3-2 in homecoming games, and O'Gorman has won the toss and has elected to receive. So talk about putting the offense to work right away. He's going to test them.
And we did that last week too against Washington, which Manny had that long kickoff return, but then we unfortunately turned it over on downs. A couple injury-related things, Isaac, real quick to mention. Chase Harris is out for the second straight week. The non-COVID related illness. And then also Andrew Nelson, the starting cornerback and kicker. He's playing some wide receiver, hurt his hip last week in the first half against Washington. He didn't play the second half. He's not playing tonight, so that hurts both the defense, the offense, and also special teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that last week when Peyton Hagee came in to kick that field goal. That was when we started to notice that Nelson hadn't been played as much. It was a hip injury. He will be out of the lineup tonight, which means Peyton Hagee will assume the kicking position as well. So he'll be doing the kickoffs as well as the PATs and field goal attempts if we have them. So Hagee, the new starting receiver, playing a little bit of defense as well as the starting kicker and punter this evening.
Then Isaac will introduce us to the O'Gorman offense when they get the ball. There are some changes on the offensive line as well.
Absolutely, but before that, getting ready for opening kickoff here as Brandon sends this kick away deep back into the end zone over the head of Struck for a touchback. So O'Gorman will come out with that new offensive line. A couple of new key guys. Aiden Scott still at center. Zach Carlson right guard. Joe Niedringhouse the left guard. Peter Benson the left tackle. And Nate Ratzloff the right tackle. Wide receivers rounding out with senior David Alpers, senior Manny Struck, junior Peyton Hagee, and senior Rush Landry. And at running back, the sophomore Maverick Jones and the junior quarterback, number 2, Bennett Dannenbring. So Dannenbring and the Knights come out of the gun. They've got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap to Dannenbring. He'll give it to Jones on the outside. Jones avoids the first hit and then ends up falling to the turf for a loss of 1. Nice job outside by Brandon.
Jones on the carry for the Knights.
As Tristan Neuenhaus, the linebacker, the junior, made the nice tackle. And if you're only allowing -1 rushing yards in 3 games, 1, you get a lot of penetration up front, and 2, you're probably a really good tackling team.
Absolutely, and O'Gorman's going to want to try to push that as much as they can this early on in the game. They're going to probably try to run it for some short yardage just to get a little confidence into the ball game here. Dannenbring will come out, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap to Dannenbring. He drops back to pass. He's got pressure in his face. He'll take off on the ground. He's going to run and get a good block on the perimeter, and Dannenbring scrambles out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down. A gain of 14, give him 15 yards. And that will give the O'Gorman Knights a fresh set of downs here from the 35.
And one thing to mention, too, Isaac, is Brandon Valley has really good cornerbacks this year. Coach Poppy said we might see more man-to-man out of them. Noah Thompson, number 14, is going to South Dakota State, so he can really play. And so previously I think they've been more of a cover 3 defense. Now they might play more man-to-man.
So O'Gorman will come out, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Dannenbring out of the gun. Offset in the backfield is Jones. Snap to Dannenbring. Throws a quick bubble screen outside to Struck. It was behind him. It was an incomplete pass.
Was that behind the line of scrimmage? Because that would be a fumble,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
I think what they were saying was that the ball came out forward, yet even though it was behind the line of scrimmage. So it came across the plane forward.
Those are those dangerous plays, as you got to really have a heads-up receiver, too. If you drop it, sometimes it's best just to pick it up because you don't want to chance it.
There's another pass, so just a little bit behind a receiver, an open bubble screen in the flats. We'll see if that's something to watch for in this ball game. Dannenbring takes the snap. He'll give it off to Jones. Jones gains about 2 yards before he's met by a couple of Brandon Valley Lynx. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
It's nice you just kind of do those running plays just to kind of see if you can get anywhere and to keep the defense honest, because the worst thing to do against like a good defense is just when they know you're going to pass and you have to pass it every down. So see if you can sneak in a few yards in there on 2nd down.
So Dannenbring will come out of the gun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 3rd down and 8 for O'Gorman on the opening drive of the ball game here at homecoming. Dannenbring drops back to pass. He's got a receiver in the flats. Now he's just going to have to scramble. Takes off on his feet and runs out of bounds. It'll be short of the 1st down by about 4 yards.
So did you see
come out to punt.
Did you see something there that was open, Isaac? On that play?
I did on the backside. Hagee was open there on about a 5-yard out to the backside numbers. No one was over there, but a little bit of pressure in the face flushed Hagee out of the pocket to the right, and then running right to left. You're not really going to see that open receiver out on the left side.
Brandon brought a slot blitz on the backside that time that actually was picked up by the Knights.
Snap to Hagee. He'll send away a spiraling end-over-end now punt that takes a nice O'Gorman bounces, then quickly fielded by Brandon, and then wrapped up by a couple of Knights. The first one there, I believe that was number 53, Peter Benson, that got to him first. Oh, that was actually 63.
One of the linemen.
Yeah, I don't have a number for him, though.
Yeah, we don't have a number for him.
So it must be a new jersey change.
Actually, I think that was Nate Ratzlaff. He came to offensive line. They switched his number. Because don't you have to have a number in the 60s or 50s?
Yep. So Slack will come out of the gun. He'll give off up the middle, and nothing doing there as Brandon can't get back to the line of scrimmage.
So that's something to note, people. Nate Ratzlaff's usually number 34. Now that he's in the offensive line, I believe he's number 63 today.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
And Carter Peterson made the tackle on that play.
Jordan Johnson on the carry there, the senior for the for the Brandon Valley Lynx, tackled for a gain of nothing on 1st and 10. Now it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Slack out of the gun. 2 receivers to the right. A tight end has just moved in the backfield. Snap to Slack. Up the middle. Give once again tackled in the backfield. This time the man getting to him was number 22 or 20. Yeah, those gray jerseys from up here, a little bit tough to see, especially in the bright daylight. Let me get out my trifocals, as Dan Johnson would
22
say.
is Gabe Cheddar at linebacker, but then the 21's Logan Height at corner, and they're on the same side. Wasn't that a false start on the motion guy?
I think what they're going to say was that he moved sideways. He moved laterally rather than forward, because if you move forward, then it's a false start. But I think they're saying that it was basically considered a motion. As Slack will take the snap, he'll drop back, deliver a pass over the middle. It's caught. And now spinning away from a couple of tackles before finally being wrapped up. That catch was made by looks like 18.
Actually, I think that's number 80, Peyton Carroll.
Oh, yeah,
Isaac.
80, Peyton Carroll.
And boy, Slack looked right at him that whole time, too. I mean, he didn't disguise where he's going to go, but Carroll's they have 2 really big targets at receivers.
Peyton Carroll, the 6'4", 195-pound senior.
And our cornerbacks are a little bit vertically challenged, unfortunately.
Brandon will come out with 1 receiver on each side, 2 tight ends. Snap to Slack. He'll roll out to the right, looking deep now over the middle of the field. That one well over the intended target and incomplete.
And one thing, looking at Slack's numbers this year, he's not the most accurate quarterback, Isaac. He's 41 out of 78, which is just about 52% in the first 3 games. And, in high school, you're probably hoping to be in probably the 60s, aren't you, as percentage-wise or somewhere in there? So
somewhere in that range, 60 to 70, but we'll see if that's a factor tonight as well. I remember Slack last year not throwing it as much. He was not supposed to be the projected first-game starter as Joe Colbeck resumed the duties after that. Handoff up the middle to Jordan Johnson. He'll get 8 yards on second down. It'll bring up third down and short.
That looks more like the Brandon Valley in the past with that power lead play right between those A gaps, which they've had great running backs in Tate Johnson. Then Braden Peterson was another one they had. I think he played against you, Isaac. He's at Augustana right now.
Griffin Knights led by Anders Matichek. We're in on that.
So 3rd and 2. What do you think Brandon's going to do here?
I think they're going to roll out. Yep, out of the I formation. Might be a little bit of a stretch play here to the outside to try to gain some yards. Snap. Fake of the pass.
Oh, wide open.
Wide open. Target over the middle, and he elects to throw it to the other side of the field. Slack just missed the tight end streaking directly down the middle of the field and launched a ball out of bounds near the right goal line.
I mean, that
guy
was open by 30
coverage.
yards. And that was a big target. I don't know how he missed him. He's like a 6'4" target run right down the seam.
Holy cow.
But I guess if you feel like it's 4-down territory, you might take that 3rd down like Coach Zer did, the offensive coordinator, take a shot like he did there.
So here we are, 4th down and 2. Slack sends a man in motion. Now they'll move 3 from the right to the left. I bet you they run to the right here. Snap, give. Rush around the side, caught up in the backfield. They're not going to get it. O'Gorman, the first one to him was Jack White, and then Anders Matichek came in and cleaned it up. And a turnover on downs after what could have been a touchdown for Brandon will give O'Gorman the football back at the 35-yard line. So not bad field position to start either.
Well, I don't know who missed the block. They had plenty of blockers on that side, but White just scooted right in there and made the initial hit.
Dannenbring comes out of the gun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Brandon Valley showing blitz right through the middle. Drop back to pass. Dannenbring over the middle, intended for Struck. That one well over the intended target and incomplete. And that'll bring up second down. A couple of returning alumni in the crowd tonight for O'Gorman. I see Tegan Schlimgen and Michael Shea down on the field. And then a very cool scene to see Connor Roman down on the field on the sideline with those two. We saw Connor run out with the team and wheel out with the flag in his hand, the OG flag. Really cool to see Connor in attendance tonight. Snap, give to Jones along the outside. Jones picks up about 3 yards and is smacked into the turf.
That actually hit was by the cornerback Noah Thompson. It looks like he's been following Manny a little bit tonight. He's their best cornerback, so it'll be interesting to see if he'll do that or is this early on in the game. And he has a size with Struck being a taller receiver too.
Absolutely. So now the Knights will come out with a bunch set of receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. The lone receiver, Rush Landry, on 3rd down and 6 here. Dannenbring out of the gun. Snap to Dannenbring. He'll drop back to pass. Throw a back shoulder grab. Caught by Rush Landry. What a nice grab and a great throw. Good pocket presence. Nice footwork. Got the ball out on time and on target for a first down to Rush Landry. I'm telling you, pay attention to that out from Hagee on the other side of the field out of that bunch set. Been open twice now.
Boy, Rush has some good hands, doesn't he?
A nice grab by Rush there. Snap. Fake of the give this time to Jones. Dannenbring will keep up the middle. He'll gain about 2 yards.
Do you think against a defense like Brandon, Isaac, do you think any misdirection would work against them, or are they too fast for something like that?
I think that eventually in this ball game, after you continuously work it on the play action will open up at some time, but you got to keep them honest by running the football. You can't just continuously try to give them a little bit of misdirection. You got to run the ball repetitively first to set up that opportunity to use a little bit of misdirection here. So Dannenbring out of the gun, 3 receivers to the left, snap to Dannenbring. He'll throw a quick slant to Struck on the outside. Struck's got room to run. He'll pick up about 7 yards. He'll mark him down a yard short of the first down.
And you can honestly use that as like a running play too, because I mean, if you're just gonna kind of flat a receiver out like that and get 6 yards every time, why don't you just take it?
Exactly, and I think that's what O'Gorman's probably going to do here. Is they're going to use the benefit of Brandon playing a little bit of soft coverage early on and try to get those corners and safeties to roll up so they can hit him on that deep ball later on. Snap, toss to Jones. A lot of action in the backfield. Jones makes a couple of defenders miss. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but nothing more.
Yeah, he did a good job, Isaac, just not losing yards in that play.
No gain.
4th and about 2. What do you think you're going to see from Poppinga here?
4th and 1 for the night.
4th down and 1 here for O'Gorman. 2 tight ends off the right side, Struck and Landry, the lone receivers. From under center, Dannenbring snap, fakes the give, now he's got to roll out, and he's going to have to pick up the first down on the ground, just bulldozes a defender, and a first down carry for Bennett Dannenbring. Wow, he planted that defender straight onto his back.
Was that a broken play, or was that how it was supposed to be designed?
I think that was a broken play. Okay. I think that Dannenbring either turned the wrong way or Jones went the wrong way, but whatever ended up happening there resulted in a first down for O'Gorman.
Good thing Bennett's about 210 or wherever he goes, because that was all on him running over the smaller cornerback.
Not the play design, but the play was designed
the result
for success.
Worked.
Here comes the snap to Dannenbring. Shifts Carter Peterson over from right to left. Snap, give, Peterson up the middle, a little bit of room to run. Bounces around, stays on his feet, and churns those wheels up to near the 30-yard line.
Tell you what, as short as Carter is, he got a good initial hit, but those short running backs, they're low targets to hit as a defensive player, and you're kind of like little, as you know with Tate Wisher, like bowling balls, so to speak.
Absolutely. Tough to get down. The lower man typically wins. Dannenbring with 2 lone receivers to each side. Snap to Dannenbring. Fakes the give up the middle. He'll run around the outside. He's got room to run. Trucks over another defender down to the 20-yard line, and another first down for O'Gorman as they're starting to move the ball on the ground here against this Brandon Valley defense with the read option out of the backfield. Dannenbring using his feet well, and the Knights are in the red zone for the first time this ball game.
Well, and talk about a drive consuming some time and a lot of plays, like Coach Popping has said, this drive's taking up a lot of time.
Staying with this formation with Anders Matichek, the offset tailback. Snap, give to Carter Peterson up the middle. He'll power forward for about 4 yards. So right now the Knights are coming out 2 receivers to each side, or 1 receiver to each side. 2 total receivers, and then they've got Matichek in like a wing back formation, a little bit of a fullback just up behind the lineman. And now we've got an injured player for Brandon on the field. We'll get ready to take an injury timeout here as they attend to the Brandon Valley Lynx player on the field. So stay tuned for more Knights football when we come back after the break on Real Presence Radio Network.
Your family is depending on you to provide financial security for them. The Knights of Columbus can help you with insurance solutions such as disability income, long-term care, both term and whole life, annuities, retirement, and estate planning services. Join the Knights of Columbus today at kfc.org/join us for access to all these insurance services. Call the BB Agency at 605-882-8689. That's 605-882-8689.
Are you ready for some football? Real Presence Radio has you covered. We will be broadcasting and video streaming Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights football games both home and away this fall, starting on Saturday, August 28th. Have your business's radio spot heard across the radio, YouTube video stream, mobile app, and RPR website during all our O'Gorman football broadcasts. If your business would like to sponsor our O'Gorman football broadcast, contact me, Brett Byler, at 605-670-8333.
Welcome back as action on the field is getting ready to start here. Dannenbring out of the gun. Takes the snap, fakes the give. He'll run around the outside. Swim move with the football. Dangerous move. And is sacked in the backfield for a loss of about 4 yards. Ooh, that makes me nervous swinging that ball around like that.
That was a fake inside dive, and I don't know if he thought he might have had an option to throw it that time. I don't know. It just seems like a few of these plays have just not been really quite executed properly. But yeah, like you said, you don't ever want to use the ball.
No. Now it'll be interesting to see how O'Gorman attacks this here. 3rd down and 10. Not necessarily field goal formation, as we don't know the leg of Peyton Hagee, with Andrew Nelson been doing the kicking lately, so we'll see what happens here on 3rd down. Dannenbring rolls out. He's got room to throw, launches a pass into the back of the end zone, and it's going to be intercepted, running around, and finally knocked to the ground.
Noah Thompson, the cornerback, with the interception. That for sure, the receiver for us fall down. Right now.
Yeah, it was intended for Struck, who feet were definitely tangled of some sort as Struck fell down. Thompson stayed on his feet. The pass was intercepted. And then Thompson ran around the end zone for about 3 or 4 seconds before finally being brought down by Struck and Landry.
I wonder if Coach Popping is thinking there might have been pass interference or something on that play. But Thompson, even though he wasn't trying to do it, the smartest thing is just to stay in the end zone. You don't want to get tackled at the 2-yard. Like what happened to Harrisburg last year against us, and the guy intercepted the ball, and then they had to basically take a safety. As a quarterback there, do you think Dannenbring, do you think that was the right play, or should he just try to throw it? I know you're trying to make a play, but sometimes you can't just throw it up either.
Leave that ball deep into the back of the end zone. It's either got to be snagged in the air, or it's got to be brought down.
Or incomplete,
essentially out of the back of the end zone. But I do appreciate the opportunity he created there, rolling out, staying with his feet, and trusting the arm. Just nice play by Noah Thompson at corner there. Snap. Fake of the give. Slack will roll around the outside. And now a lot of jersey tugging there on the corner. It looked like everyone wanted a hold as Logan Height was trying to create some separation from the receiver before the quarterback Slack got knocked out of bounds.
Number 33, Matichek.
And that was right by the O'Gorman sideline, too.
That was...
Oh, there was a hold.
Okay.
I don't know if I even saw the flag, Isaac.
I didn't see the flag come out, but I saw the
the actual hold.
I didn't see the flag. I saw the hold.
So that was one of the receivers that held?
Yep. Right on Logan Height here, just right in front of the OG sideline.
Pollock, offense. Kelly from the spot of foul.
I don't know if he said number 10.
It was on Dylan Langrock.
It's so sunny, as you can see in the video stream right now. It's hard to see numbers sometimes.
Yeah.
And even flags. Minute 6 left in the first quarter. Scoreless. Knights and Lynx.
Brandon will come out here, take the snap to Slack. They'll hand up the middle, bouncing around a couple of air defenders, and they'll pick up the first down. So the penalty was after the first down yardage was gained, so they dropped it back from there, and it was ended up being first down and 5 for Brandon, and they do pick up first down.
Jack White and teammates in on the tackle.
First down and 10 for Brandon. Slack comes out of the pistol formation. He'll take the snap. He'll give up the middle. Met in the backfield by Carter Peterson was number...
I think that's Peyton Egan, number 6.
6.
And he had a really good game last week as the backup running back, over 100 yards, but Peterson shot right in there.
So Egan on the carry, can't pick up a yard, and it'll bring up second down and 10.
And it looks like Brandon Valley Isaac's just going to let it go to the quarter break here.
So with 10 seconds left running, as the quarter will continue to wind out. That'll do it for the first quarter from McEnany Field here at O'Gorman High School. 0-0. A tight ball game between the Lynx and the Knights. Stay tuned for more in the second quarter on Real Presence Radio Network.
Ferendorf Family Chiropractic and Wellness is a third-generation family-owned chiropractic practice whom have been proudly serving the people of Sioux Falls and the Sioux Empire region since 1947. Dr. Eric Ferendorf, a 1999 O'Gorman alum, practices alongside his wife, Dr. Larissa Ferendorf. Dr. Larissa specializes in applied kinesiology and clinical nutrition. Ferendorf Family Chiropractic and Wellness is located on the northwest corner of 49th Street and Southeastern Avenue, 605-334-8000, or online at ferendorfchiropractic.com.
At McGuire Iron, we protect and store quality water for people and communities across the country. We are family owned and operated and have been building and maintaining America's water tower infrastructure for over 100 years. We pride ourselves on using faith principles in our business practices every day. This deep faith in the church is why we support the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic School System. From all of us at McGuire Iron and the Jones family, we wish all O'Gorman students and student athletes good luck this year.
All right, folks, welcome back to O'Gorman High School. At the MAC, it's the homecoming game, 59th annual one for Sioux Falls, O'Gorman, 0-0 Knights and Lynx after one quarter. Back to the play-by-play, and here is Mr. Isaac Struck.
So we'll resume action here. Brandon Valley has the football at the 32-yard line. They'll send a receiver in motion from left to right, the tight end that was. And now Slack will roll out to his right. He's got a receiver open along the sideline. It'll be caught for a first down. That was number 3, Sam Skolton, on the reception for Brandon Valley.
And Skolton, Isaac, he had a heck of a game against Sioux Falls Jefferson. I think he had over 11 catches, over 100 yards in that one.
So Skolton, a dangerous receiver to look out for if you're O'Gorman. Haven't seen a whole lot of passes yet out of this Brandon Valley offense, but when they do, they're typically always rolling out. So it's tough to see kind of that smoke and mirrors pass play action from Brandon right now.
And Skolton caught a touchdown right before half last year against O'Gorman, if you remember that, in Brandon.
So the snap, the give up the middle, that's Egan on the carry. He'll gain about 4 yards and bring up second down.
You can kind of look at the first quarter, Isaac, as missed opportunities for both teams. Brandon Valley, the wide open touchdown that the quarterback decided not to throw to the tight end. And then for us, getting the ball down in their territory and then throwing the interception.
Absolutely. A couple of missed opportunities for both teams so far, and it's still in a 0-0 ball game. Brandon has played in a lot of low-scoring ball games so far this season. Not out of their comfort zone by any means. Slack will come out of the gun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap to Slack. He'll take it and keep it along the outside, roll around the edge, where he is knocked out of bounds.
It looks like looks like for the third straight game we have Jim Ricketts Jr. as the head referee.
Snap up the middle, and now Slack
Isaac
breaks out of defenders, and Struck will run him down at the 2-yard line, and now Slack slow to get up as he's hobbling on his ankle.
Great hustle by Manny there. I think Slack almost relaxed. I think he thought he was going to just walk it in, and I really don't know what happened on that play. He went right up the middle.
Slack now they're just going to try to run a quarterback sneak. They're not going to get it. They'll be 2 yards short. So Slack burst through the middle after a lot of chaos right down in front. A bundle of couple of guys, about 4 players from each team. And then ended up all of a sudden Slack just snuck out.
I think what's the ball? Is that about the 2 right now? It's hard to see from this angle. And they took Slack out, Isaac, so someone else is going to be quarterback unless they want to do like the Wildcat or just call a timeout.
So Brandon will call a timeout as they assess the injury of Slack.
And we can take a quick 30-second break here at the MAC Knights 0, Lynx 0 homecoming football. This is Real Presence Radio's coverage. Stay tuned.
Real Presence Radio is now on Google Assistant devices, including Google Home, phones, tablets, and smart displays. To start this action, say something like, "Okay, Google, talk to Real Presence Radio." It will then ask what station you want to play, to which you can respond, "Play Sioux Falls," or "Play AM 970," or "Play WWEN. From there, you can use words like play, pause, and stop. Listen to RPR anytime, anywhere, now on Google Assistant devices.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School after the timeout from Brandon Valley. It'll be second down and goal from the 2-yard line. After that long run from Lucas Slack after he was caught from behind by Manny Struck just at the 2-yard line. Slack then hobbled out of the game with an apparent ankle injury and is now receiving some work on the sideline as Jack Thuey is in at quarterback, just the sophomore for Brandon right now. from under center. Snapped. Thuy dropped it on the ground, and it looks like O'Gorman might have recovered. O'Gorman has recovered the fumble. So a nightmare scenario for Brandon Valley, and I didn't want to say it on air, but I said this is the dangerous situation where you've got a quarterback coming in under center and taking a snap for the first time. A lot of pressure to be in if you're the sophomore Jack Thuy.
Right, shotgun would have been better in that situation, but yeah, sometimes you take for granted that quarterback center exchange, and
especially
how many times do you think the backup's been doing that with the starting center since training camp started, basically?
So Gorman will come out and have it on their own 3-yard line.
Fumble recovered by David Alpers.
So Alpers on the fumble recovery, and Jason Popping it will have to take a timeout after O'Gorman could not line up.
Timeout, O'Gorman.
We can just stay right here, Isaac. You look at a game for O'Gorman today being the underdog against Brandon Valley, 3-0 Brandon Valley team. Sometimes to win games like this where you might be not as talented as your opponent, you need some breaks to fall your way, and O'Gorman in this game has got the self-inflicted one by Brandon Valley, 2 of them, basically the long touchdown pass that wasn't, and then the quarterback getting hurt, the backup coming in, then basically at the bare minimum you're probably going to get a field goal from the 2-yard line, if not a touchdown, then they fumble it back to us. It's just how can O'Gorman now take advantage of those miscues?
Absolutely, and just a nice play by Struck to chase him down. You don't expect that to be a big play. I mean, you just assume 4 downs, you're going to get into the end zone, but now it just proves to be a big play that a little bit of hustle is going to result in O'Gorman getting the football back and now being able to hopefully put a drive together here. It'll be a 90, let's see where they officially mark it at, I think the 4. So it'd be a 96-yard drive if they can put this thing into the end zone.
You want to at least try to get 1 first down here if you're O'Gorman.
Snap to Dannenbring. He'll drop back to pass, throw it over the middle, and he's got Struck open. No, it's Hagee. Hagee up the middle of the field. Hagee's got room to run down the sideline. He's to the 40, to the 30, and he's caught from behind. So Brett Byler, Mr. Pick to Click, picks Peyton Hagee on the reception over the middle. A huge reception for Peyton Hagee, and O'Gorman completely flips the field.
I don't know what happened to the safeties there, Isaac, but once he caught it, thankfully Noah Thompson for Brandon Valley has great speed and caught him, but no one over the middle.
So now O'Gorman in business right now as they've got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Dannenbring will take the snap. He'll fake the give up the middle, throw a quick pass over the middle to David Alpers, caught for about 8 yards. They'll give him 9, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
So that pass play to Peyton Hagee, Isaac, was 66 yards.
Nice connection there between those two.
And you put maybe they're seeing some of those quick little pop routes over the middle that time. That was a really good pass to Alpers and a really good catch.
Dannenbring takes the snap. He'll throw a back shoulder fade, nearly intercepted by number 41, Tristan Neuenhaus.
That's the scary part is where you have those linebackers kind of sneak under those stop routes like he did there. And I don't think number 30 is back in for Brandon. I think he is. He was the one who got injured the last series.
So O'Gorman will come out. They'll send Struck in motion. They'll take the snap. They'll fake the give, and now Dannenbring will pound his way forward. They'll pick up the 1st down, and it'll be a fresh set of downs at the 13-yard line. O'Gorman 1st and 10 can pick up a 1st down at the 3.
He's running pretty straight up and down, too. I mean, you always want to try to run more hunched over that else. He's a big kid, but you can really take some shots when you're running that straight up.
The one thing that I do like about Dannenbring's running style right now is his north and south running.
Yes.
He's not running as laterally down the field. It's more yardage, more gain for every step you take when you're running straight up and down like that, as Dannenbring will keep up the middle and nothing doing.
I think Carter, if you'd have handed off to him, didn't he have a lot of room out there, Isaac?
A lot of room on the outside there, depending on what the play call was.
You explained that to the crowd as a quarterback, what you're looking at in those read option plays like that?
Yeah, you're just trying to watch the defensive end or whoever is kind of like head up outside of that tackle, that first threat that you can leave unblocked, and you're just trying to play a game with him, whether you can draw him in.
So if he comes in, then you want to
give it out,
but if he goes out, then
stay out and and try to take out the running back, then you're just going to keep it right up the middle.
That teaching lesson is brought to you by Isaac Struck. Need to find a sponsor for that.
So Dannenbring will come out of the gun, take the snap, give it up the middle to Carter Peterson, who will bounce around about one man and then end up being brought down by a couple.
So we're at the area here in the red zone, obviously, where you have a guy like a Rush Landry, 6'4", 6'5" kid, good hands. Would you put him on one side and maybe try to do a play to him, get him ISO'd up here, or what do you think Pop will do here, third down?
Well, the abundance of tall receivers for O'Gorman is something that is really beneficial in this area. I mean, you've got Landry and Alpers, but you also have Struck, and Hagee's pretty tall himself too. A lot of candidates to kind of throw one up here to that back corner of the end zone on a little bit of a fade route maybe. We'll see what O'Gorman comes out with here as they've got both Landry and Struck, the lone receivers on the outside, and Struck false starts.
So I'll take him back 5 yards. That's one in the keys to victory, those mental mistakes you can't have, especially in scoring position for the Knights, which we don't know what the kicker's distance is either in Hagee, so you don't want to get out of field goal range either.
That might be one of the first penalties we've seen out of any of the receivers this season. Not many like receiver holdings, false starts out of any of them so far. So now O'Gorman will come out. They'll send Struck in motion from right to left, take the snap. It's going to be a dump off to Struck, and it's well incomplete near the sideline.
So where's the ball at right now? He's about the 15, 14?
I think it's at the 14. It looks like they're going to send Hagee out to kick.
So we're looking at a 31-yard field goal right now if it's at the 14. Be interesting to see what Hagee's range here. He had the one attempt last week blocked against Washington.
So Hagee on to kick. He's straight over the middle of the field. Kick is up, and that is good. So Peyton Hagee buries the field goal. Peyton Hagee, the one that got the drive started, then buries the field goal to keep the drive alive. And O'Gorman, the first team on the scoreboard here at homecoming here at O'Gorman High School. Stay tuned for more after the break on Real Presence Radio Network.
Did you know you can listen to the RPR network when you're on the go? Just search for Real Presence Radio in your app store. Listen live to any station across the network at any time, so you can stay connected to your local community from wherever you are. Plus, if you miss a program, the Real Presence Radio app is your one-stop shop for local and national podcasts, including our signature show, Real Presence Live. The Real Presence Radio app, with you every step of your faith journey.
Hi, Father Sampson. What are you doing?
Hey, Mrs. Colbeck. I've just been spending hours enjoying our new swing set at Christ the King Playground. It's so much fun.
That's right, the new swing set.
With our classroom sizes averaging 15 to 20 students, everyone's going to get their turn on these new swings.
With tuition assistance available, it is never too late to enroll for preschool through 6th grade at Christ the King. It's going to be a great school year.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School here at homecoming as O'Gorman, the first team on the scoreboard with a 3-0 lead as that ball bounces and Brandon will recover it at the 20-yard line. Boy, that's where they will start over. So that scoring drive for Sioux Falls O'Gorman has been brought to you by Closets & More, a locally owned company providing custom designed closets and storage solutions. Closets & More can be reached at 605-334-5135 or online at closetsandmoresd.com.
I don't know if they were trying on that kickoff, but that looked like the Roosevelt playoff game 2 years ago where he had the 2 straight kicks. I think we recovered on those little pooch kickoffs like that.
So and it basically served as a touchback kick all the way down to the 21-yard line where Brandon Valley will start.
Is Slack back in there? It's hard to see the number of this quarterback. It's 8. Yep, he's back.
Slack is back in. A lot of pressure up the middle as they dump it off on the screen pass to number 80, Peyton Carroll.
And I noticed they did that a lot last week, or tried to against Roosevelt too, with Carroll. A lot of those short little screens to him. He's a bigger target, but there's a lot of congestion, Isaac, on that little pass too.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies around in the area. Definitely serves for a tough play. So Slack out of the gun, 2 receivers to the right. Slack with that spat ankle tape on the right ankle now as they'll give up the middle to Egan.
Nice
He'll
stick.
fight for about 2 yards, but nothing more as the O'Gorman defense with a stout stuff after giving up 2 initial yards.
Well, Gorman's tackled better tonight than they did last week. That's Matichek on the initial hit. I do got a shout out here on YouTube, Isaac. The Renner 13 and under. Is that baseball team?
That was my baseball team this summer. I want to give a shout out to them. Came up with 3rd place in the state tournament, so always exciting. Group of boys to coach. Dropping back to pass. Ball along the sideline, tipped and incomplete.
Sam Jacobson didn't know where the ball was, else he could have just needed to turn around.
It was intended for Peyton Carroll, and Jacobson was in the area as well as I believe that was that was Theobald.
Well, I think
both of them in the area. Jacobson couldn't quite get his head turned around to see it, and then Theobald behind it.
I think Jacobson was so busy trying to get back in his zone, he just didn't turn around.
Snap, punt on its way, nearly blocked by Alpers. A high end-over-end kick, going to be fair caught by Struck at the 48-yard line.
Wow, you were right, Isaac. Alpers was closing in. Just maybe another half a second, he would have had a block there. He's a punter, took forever to kick it.
And that would have been a huge shift of momentum if O'Gorman blocks the kick there and gets the football down inside the, probably 20-yard line is where that thing would have bounced. So Dannenbring will come out of the gun here. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap to Dannenbring, drop of the football, and now Dannenbring is going to roll around and get dropped 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd down and 13 with the ball just on the other side of the 50 now.
On that play there, obviously they messed the play up there, but I'm looking over here on the left side, and you have Rush Landry at 6'5", 1-on-1 against a 5'8" cornerback. I think if you keep seeing that matchup, Isaac, that might be a thing to attack if you're Coach Poppinga.
Absolutely.
Look at right here at the top of the screen, the same matchup.
So here we are, snap, fake, Dannenbring carries up the middle. He'll get about 7 yards back, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
What do you think of the offensive line so far, Isaac? We have a couple new faces in there. What have you seen so far in this ball game?
Well, we've been getting good movement up
I would
front.
say that was some good push on that play.
Yeah, and it seemed just like we're playing with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder all around so far. Just making sure that we're continuing to put pressure on that Brandon Valley defense, making them it's not just a one-dimensional passing attack, I should say, making sure that they're keeping them honest with the run plays, mixing in there every once in a while. Dannenbring will drop back to pass. He'll throw a deep, spiraling fade down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Peyton Hagee, who had a step on the defender, but just a little bit long and incomplete. So now it's decision time for O'Gorman coach Jason Poppinga. Do you punt it away and give Brandon a long field, or do you try to pick up the 1st down on 3rd down and 6 here?
I'm going to say he might do that
quarterback. 4th down and 6.
Might do that quarterback little pooch punt, don't you think?
You very well could see that here out of Dannenbring.
We'll see.
But taking a shot on 3rd down might indicate that, maybe now we might see that pooch punt. Nope, drop back, fade route backside off the fingertips of Rush Landry and incomplete. And that'll be a turnover offensively for the Knights, so the Knights defense will go out and get tested once again.
That was a really good ball by Dannenbring, too. Unfortunately, Rush very sure-handed, and he just kind of dropped that one.
Good coverage, just didn't get the hands on the ball, and it came into Rush's hands, kind of went off the hands right as the defender was swiping at him, and it just dropped and fell incomplete.
And Isaac, I just watched Slack come back in the game here. He's really limping right now, so that might affect their play calling a little bit if he can't move around much back there.
Especially going to halftime and just having time off and sitting there, it's just going to continuously get tighter. You can visibly see that amount of tape on that plant foot over there from Slack as that ball is caught along the O'Gorman sideline by number 3, Sam Skolton.
So maybe you're going to try to keep him, if you're Coach Zer, the offensive coordinator, more in the pocket and less rollouts, too. You're
going to see more design runs by the running backs,
Yes.
not as much option plays, and you're going to see more design passes where it's just a straight drop back rather than a rollout.
If you're O'Gorman, you might send a blitz or two, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. Snap to Slack. He'll drop back to pass. Throw over the middle. A lot of defenders in the area as that one harmlessly fell incomplete to the turf. But about 6 Knights in the area of that pass that was intended for Peyton Carroll.
He had a little mustard on that one. I think that thing was zinging in there. It's one of those balls. It was about 30 degrees out in October. It hurt your hands when it hit.
Yeah, absolutely. That thing had some extra mustard on it.
So 3:12 left in the first half, folks. 3-0 Knights. BV with the ball in O'Gorman territory. Isaac mentioned Brandon Valley struggled scoring the ball this year.
Snap to Slack. Slack will roll out, just dump it off to Peyton Carroll, who avoids the hit from Struck as Shannon tells him not to shoulder tackle and sends Jack White into the ball game.
Slack pass is complete to Carroll.
It'll be 3rd down and short.
I'd be surprised if Brandon doesn't try to run the ball right between the tackles here.
This could be a big 3rd down stop for O'Gorman defensively as the crowd's starting to get on their feet a little bit. Snap, pass out on the seams, caught by Skolton. He's got room to run. Down inside the 25, down to the 23. And that'll move the chains and bring up a 1st down here for Brandon in O'Gorman territory, just shy of the red zone.
It almost feels like this Brandon team's a little bit more pass-heavy than previous years. I was looking at their stats. Isaac, going into the game, they average about 175 yards passing, 165 yards rushing. Usually it's more like 200-something rushing to 150. I mean, they can always pass, but usually that's almost like just if need be type of a thing.
The one thing you don't see out of this Brandon team this year is a guy like Tate Johnson in the backfield.
Right, that dynamic, or Braden Peterson.
Or Braden Peterson, exactly. One of those dynamic running backs from Brandon that we're typically used to seeing, and they always have that big group of linemen up front. This line is big up front, but it's not as big as we've seen in the past.
No.
We've seen some 300-pounders in the past, and right now, Brandon, 6'5", 290 is their biggest, but they average 230, 240, 205, and 255. So not as big as we've seen in the past out of Brandon Valley.
I got to give a shout-out to my alma mater, Brady Copel, the center for Brandon Valley, number 67 at 255, 6'6", is going to USD. I already did the SDSU one for Noah Thompson. So you would think,
congratulations to them.
Yeah, you would think with a center going to USD, they might try to run the ball a little bit more. Isaac Struck.
Well, I'm not gonna say too much to offend anybody, but that school down south, Brookings, just they just can't seem to flip the script every once in a while. I mean, they were pretty satisfied with a 3-point loss to Kansas, who might just go 0-4 on the season. Meanwhile, SDSU walloped Colorado State.
Let's say about that Lindenwood game last week against
that was exciting.
That powerhouse team they played.
Slack drops back to pass. Hit as he throws. Ball is wobbling in the air. Struck came back to it, nearly picked it off. It was intended. I believe that was number 9. No, I think that was number 9, Nate Anderson. That it was intended for a wobbly football that Struck nearly came up with.
And I think that was Alpers who had the hit on Slack. When the sun goes down in the second half, it'll be easier for us announcers to see what's going on, especially with O'Gorman's uniforms. But I believe that was really good pressure by Dave Alpers up the middle. So what do we got now? 2nd down.
2nd down and 10. 2:53 here on the game clock. Brandon will send out 2 receivers to the right. Now they'll move Carroll from right to left. 2 tight ends in as well. Snap to Slack, give off to Egan. Egan will run down the left side. He'll pick up about 6 on 2nd down. He'll bring up 3rd down and about 3, maybe 4.
And the right tackle for Brandon, Navarro Shunke, he was a really good heavyweight wrestler last year. I got to watch him. I think Brandon came to O'Gorman for one of the meets I saw last year. And he's a big kid at 6'5", 290.
Yeah,
it was twice my weight when I was in high school. I was like 145 pounds.
That's tough to move around on the football field.
Big play here, Isaac.
3rd down and 4. Full house backfield for Brandon. Snap, Slack will drop off a quick pass over the middle. It's caught by Carroll and into the end zone for a touchdown. Is Brandon Valley. Struck tried to shoulder the defender over again. This time the big target.
Yeah, he is. It's kind of like a similar play call at O'Gorman when you have the trips to the one side. You just kind of overload the zone, and he's a big target, and we didn't bring him down.
So Carroll bounced off the first initial tackle and then found his way into the end zone. 2:05 left. Brandon Valley on to attempt the extra point. O'Gorman has a chance to drive down the field. They've got one timeout left. 2:05 to work with.
PAT is good.
But Brandon takes back the lead. It's 7-3 here at O'Gorman High School as we get ready to send it into a break here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Hi, this is Brett Byler, Area Account Executive with Real Presence Radio. Did you know the signal of Real Presence Radio reaches an audience of over 2.4 million people across North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, and Wyoming? Have you ever thought about running radio spots on the RPR network? We want to partner with you to help gain exposure for your business in front of a very faithful customer base. To find out more about the options, please call me, Brett Byler, at 605-670-8333.
Here at Catholic Family Services, we believe counseling is for everyone. Catholic Family Services is here to help whether you are navigating a life transition, such as going to college or changing career paths, wanting to improve your communication skills, making plans for your future family, or wanting to understand mental health. If you would like more information or to set up an appointment with one of our trained professionals, call Catholic Family Services at 605-988-3775.
Kick is back deep and fielded by, I believe that's Theobald running down the sideline. Theobald gets back to the 30. It was Theobald on the reception or on the kickoff return. Deep in the back right corner just in front of the goal line. Took it down the left side down to the 30.
81, Henry Theobald on the return.
That's a pretty good field position to start a drive before the half at the 31.
Absolutely.
See if they can pass protect here.
So Dannenbring will come out of the gun. Takes the snap, fakes the give. He'll run around the right side, now create some room to run. He'll scamper forward for about 8 yards. And he'll bring up 2nd down and short.
Tackled by number 4.
Play like that, you run 20 yards to get 8 yards.
Yeah.
Oh boy, bad snap.
Throw out on the sideline, caught by Hagee for a first down, down near the 50. A minute 35 left. O'Gorman will just continue to hurry up on the ball.
That's pretty loose coverage out there, Isaac. I mean, they gave him a look at the cushion on the slot guy.
A lot of lot of cushion out there as Dannenbring gets ready to take the snap. He'll fake it. Now he'll keep it up the middle. Dannenbring is going to get about 3 yards. 1:20 on the clock and running.
And that's
Gorman, this is when they have called a series of plays in a row that everyone has memorized at practice simply just for these short time situations where they just continually will run the same package over and over again, rotating a certain batch of plays that Dannenbring can shout out at the line of scrimmage. And now O'Gorman with that pass to Alpers is moving inside of the 35. A minute to go, snap to Dannenbring, fake of the give. This time he will give it. Ball's on the turf. Little miscommunication there between Jones and Dannenbring. 50 seconds left. Now you're just hoping to get out of bounds at some point over here. Snap, fake of the give. Deep pass over the top, intended for Struck, and it's incomplete. A lot of hand fighting over there. That one falls to the turf, incomplete.
That looked like a pretty good ball, too, by Dannenbring. I don't know if Struck saw it, really, or... With that sun, too, you just never know how that plays on your eyes. Because I don't think either Struck or the defensive back really saw that ball too much. So now we got 3rd. Let's see. Oh, about 3rd and about 11. 35-yard line of Brandon.
Dannenbring out of the gun, takes the snap. He'll give it. This time it's Peterson who will roll forward for a couple of yards.
Carter Peterson on the carry.
Clock running, Isaac.
27 seconds on the clock and running. So we'll see what O'Gorman does here. It looks like they're just going to come up and run a play. They got to pick up the first down yardage. 20 seconds left, only one timeout. If you pick up a first down, enough yardage, maybe you can get a Hagee field goal before the half or take a deep shot to the end zone. Dannenbring will roll around. He's got nowhere to do with it. He's going to just have to step out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover.
Well, turnover on down.
I don't know, one of those plays if you like him just to maybe just throw it up and see
Yeah.
see what happens, or if that little time in the second quarter maybe get a pass interference or something. But Randall will just take a knee, I'm assuming, here.
So Brandon will come out, put a knee on it, and end the half here. Snap to Slack. He drops down to the turf, and that'll do it for the first half here at homecoming number 58 from O'Gorman High School and on Real Presence Radio Network. So stay tuned for the halftime show as we've got a couple of an interview or two, as then you can see the band on the field and a little bit of a recap of what happened in the first half. That is next on Real Presence Radio Network.
Barnett Vision Clinic in Sioux Falls offers comprehensive eye exams to assess their patients' eye health, including students and young athletes. At Barnett Vision Clinic, we offer a variety of glasses, contacts, and sunglasses to fit our patients' needs, including brands such as Oakley, Ray-Ban, Nike, Kate Spade, and Nano Vista glasses for kids. Dr. James Barnett is a proud O'Gorman alumni and St. Michael's parishioner. To schedule an appointment, we can be reached at 605-335-7757 or online at barnettvisionclinic.com.
J&J Caseworks and Closets and More is a proud sponsor of the O'Gorman Knights. Following the same rich, winning tradition, family, and Christian values, J&J Caseworks strives to create a work environment to call home. Family-owned and operated, J&J Caseworks has several full-time positions available. Our team members pursue career goals, learn new skills, and get the recognition they deserve. To set up an appointment, J&J Caseworks can be reached at 605-332-0805 or email jobs@jmjcaseworks.com. Go Knights!
Your family is depending on you to provide financial security for them. The Knights of Columbus can help you with insurance solutions such as disability income, long-term care, both term and whole life, annuities, retirement, and estate planning services. Join the Knights of Columbus today at kfc.org/join us for access to all these insurance services. Call the BB Agency at 605-882-8689. That's 605-882-8689.
Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street in Sioux Falls offers a daily buffet featuring a variety of pizza choices, salad bar, and chicken. Pizza Ranch has a spacious dining room as well as 8 party rooms that fit different group sizes. Their online menu provides another option for their customers to order from. Pizza Ranch is located across from O'Gorman High School on 41st Street and can be contacted by calling 271-8646. Pizza Ranch is a strong supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
From the Real Presence Radio Network, welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Halftime Show. Brought to you by your Knights of Columbus field agents for the Sioux Falls area, Jeff Gillen and Phil Carlson.
Welcome back here to the halftime show here at O'Gorman High School. They've just announced the homecoming royalty on the field. The winner, the Queen, Megan Van Den Hemel, and the King, Seth McMaster. And now we are getting ready for the presentation of the Keloland Cup from last year's season. So Steve Keeter with the Keloland Cup down on the field, and that's funny. As we get ready to introduce the band, but first just talk a little bit about the first half there before we turn it over to the band here in an interview coming up. That first half was a long, slow, grinding out kind of first half where not a whole lot of ball movement out of either team, and then the drives that they did start to get ended in interceptions, turnovers, punts, and etc. Finally, Brandon was able to get on the scoreboard there right at the end of the second quarter, and O'Gorman had a chance, but ended up taking a sack out of bounds to end the half. And O'Gorman will end up kicking the ball to start the second half. So trailing 7-3. What did you notice in that first half?
I think the common theme is missed opportunities. Brandon Valley probably gave away easily 14 points on the missed touchdown pass and then the fumble at the 2-yard line. O'Gorman had the ball in their territory as well, and through the interception, we were moving the ball in their territory to half end it. We were moving the ball okay offensively. I thought our offensive line played better today in the first half than we've seen in the previous 2 ball games. And then defensively, I'm kind of surprised how much Brandon's really thrown the ball this year, but O'Gorman's in this ball game. It really hurts, though, giving up that touchdown right before half, at 7-3, and then we had a chance to get some points and weren't able to. But if you're Coach Popping, you have to like where you are. I think we've seen opportunities to that. Peyton Hagee, he was wide open on that one. So I think we've schemed our way to a couple big play opportunities, just haven't quite got them so far.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I've been noticing. So now the band getting ready to play on the field.
And we didn't get to see them, Isaac, in the Dakota Bowl. If people remember the 4-day, 3-game attempt Dakota Bowl, the first game when the band was going to play was rained out, and then the second game on the Monday we got to halftime, and then it got rained out. So Ben Koch's band has been waiting for about a month to get out here on the field and perform. And once they start, we will definitely go to them for a while. We do have an interview with Trey Creer also coming up. He's part of the Creer family, which is in the O'Gorman Hall of Fame. And we'll list out all the other Hall of Famers as well. But right now, we're going to go on the football field to the O'Gorman Band under the direction of Ben Koch.
Jimmy Reitman, Jonathan Bay, and Zach Christensen, Miles Adamak, Dominic Fulton, Haley Ortega, McKenna Ortega, and Maria Dvorak, and Billy Lively. Visual soloists are Emma Seeley, Rhea Allen, Taylor Hagan, and Natalia Orff. The band begins tonight with their traditional prelude, the Lord's Prayer. Following one of the darkest and strangest years of our lives, the Knights are proud to present to you a joy-filled production that is sure to lift your spirits and warm your hearts. With their 2021 competitive show entitled Noel, the Marching Knights are here to bring you the magic of the holiday season. Let us take you on a journey down memory lane with this presentation of classic Christmas carols and tuneful seasonal favorites. As we travel through the darkness of winter into the light of Christmas, you're sure to experience fond memories of Yuletide's past. replete with all the revelry, festivity, and good old-fashioned holiday cheer that the season brings. We wish you the happiest and best 2021 we possibly can, and we hope you enjoy our presentation of Noel. Drum majors, is your band ready?
And you can continue watching the O'Gorman Band on the field. We're going to take a break and continue our halftime show. Up next will be my interview with O'Gorman Hall of Famer Trey Creer, who is part of the Creer family that was inducted in today's O'Gorman class of 2021 Hall of Fame. And that interview is coming up after the break.
Jardine Construction is a general contractor of custom homes, remodeling, and commercial construction. Jardine Construction works in close cooperation with project owners and customers when developing a plan for a building or home. Jardine Construction has lots available in Sioux Falls, Hartford, and Humboldt. Mark can be reached at 605-951-1803 and Tom at 605-261-6174.
Hi, Father Sampson. What are you doing?
Hey, Mrs. Colbeck. I've just been spending hours enjoying our new swing set at Christ the King Playground. It's so much fun.
That's right, the new swing set.
With our classroom sizes averaging 15 to 20 students, everyone's going to get their turn on these new swings.
With tuition assistance available, it is never too late to enroll for preschool through 6th grade at Christ the King. It's going to be a great school year.
Welcome back to Inside O'Gorman, sponsored by the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools. I'm now joined by Trey Creer, part of the Creer family with his dad Steve, mom Ann, and wife Jenny, who are getting inducted today as part of the 2021 O'Gorman Hall of Fame class. First off, congrats to you, Trey, and your family on this great honor. My first question is, how did you find out that you and your family was going to be inducted this year, and your initial reaction after hearing the news?
Yeah, initially I found out from my dad. He's still in the building, still constant communication with administration and those people up there. So got a phone call from him, basically in only a way that my father can, congratulating me for something that I didn't know what was going on yet. So, just to be able to share in that excitement with him, 1980 is when he signed his first contract at O'Gorman High School. And so you're talking about over 40 years of work there. And for myself personally, I've had birthday parties at O'Gorman in the gym. I've spent a large part of my life in the building and in the facility, both as a student and now as an alumni. My wife, obviously, Jenny, an athlete there. My mom taught in the Catholic school system for 19 years. A family honor, a thing that we are very proud of and humbled by to be able to do this as a family.
And Trey, you yourself were a 2006 O'Gorman graduate and involved in football, basketball, track, and baseball at O'Gorman. What was it like for you personally representing O'Gorman, wearing the different uniforms and playing all the sports there?
Yeah, like I said, I grew up watching the football teams, being the ball boy on the sideline for my dad's sophomore football teams, for the varsity football teams, being the water boy for sophomore basketball teams all the way up to the varsity state tournaments. I had always dreamed of my opportunity to wear the Knights uniform, to wear the blue helmet, to step on the basketball floor and, be able to be coached by my father and compete for O'Gorman. Definitely was something I was very proud of, and very proud of the fact that we had some success. I know you could use the fact that I played football very loosely. I was on the team and got to experience 2 state championships with those groups in 04 and 05, and then got to experience 3 state tournaments on the basketball team, got to win a state championship in 2006. Could not have asked for a better athletic experience, academic experience at O'Gorman High School.
And you just alluded to my next question, Trey, about this is the success of your teams you were involved with football and basketball in your high school career. Do you personally have a memorable moment or moments that still stand out to you today from your sports career at O'Gorman?
Yeah, I got way too many of them for us to get into right now, I suppose. But, the thing that I will always take from all of my experience at O'Gorman is the people I got to be around. My friends, grew up with those guys from Christ the King Elementary School all the way through the junior high. And through the high school, I got to know a lot of teachers. I teach in Yankton now, so there's a lot of teachers that I had at O'Gorman who I'm still in conversation with about collaboration and such, and the relationships, the experiences, the people that I got to meet and continue to work with and know here now at 33 years of age. That's my favorite part of what I got to do at O'Gorman.
You mentioned obviously your dad's a coach there at O'Gorman. Has there been a coach or coaches or teacher or teachers, Trey, at your time at O'Gorman specifically that really made a big impact on your life?
Yeah, obviously my dad did. My mom also. She started teaching in the Catholic school system when I was a 7th grader. She did some long-term subbing, then started her 19 years at St. Mary's Elementary in the 6th grade. For me personally, I never got to have her, but I had my father. I had Mr. Lindemann. I had Jane Schnell, who just retired from O'Gorman High School, teaching as my physics teacher. I could keep going. The people that I had. I don't know if I could say I had a bad teacher at O'Gorman High School, at the middle school, Mr. Price. Obviously, I'm a math teacher now, so I'm naming a lot of math, physics people. I am still in communication with a lot of those people now as collaborators and even things outside of the academic setting. Mr. Lindner obviously was a close family friend of my dad's, and their family, getting to know them has been really fun.
And one of the other coaches that's actually getting inducted today in the Hall of Fame is former basketball coach of yours, Mike Begeman. What was it like playing for Coach Begeman growing up in high school at O'Gorman?
Coach Begeman's youngest son, Mitch, was a year older than I was. So, when I talk about watching the teams growing up, Mitch and I were running around the gym. We were getting into trouble while both of our dads were at practice. So the opportunity to get the Knights uniform on, particularly on the basketball side, to compete in 3 state championship games, I think it would be, I might get these years wrong, 04, 05, we were runners-up in the state basketball tournament for AA, and then in 06, obviously, we won it. Coach Begeman is a great guy, again, a great family friend. Him and my dad actually went to Augustana together, have known each other for a long time, and very happy for him, for the honor that he gets. He definitely deserves it. The impact that he had on O'Gorman basketball, still being had to this day.
And finally, Trey, today will be a busy day for you and your family with the homecoming mass, the Hall of Fame luncheon, concluding with the football game against Brandon Valley at 5. What do you look most forward to about today?
Honestly, for me, the most exciting part about this is the opportunity that it has for my mom and dad. They're getting to the latter parts of their teaching careers. My mom's already retired. My dad, like I said, has been at O'Gorman for 40 plus years. Kind of the opportunity to see them get some recognition for the job that they've done, the private school setting. There's not a lot of opportunity for recognition for just the job that you've done over the longevity that they have. Getting to see the smile on their face, the opportunity for them to be recognized is the part that I'm most excited about.
Thank you so much, Trey, for your time, and congratulations again on getting inducted into the O'Gorman Hall of Fame.
You betcha. Thank you very much, Brett.
And that was Trey Kerr, the Kerr family that was inducted in today's 2021 class of the O'Gorman Hall of Fame. That included Trey, his dad, Steve Kerr, his mom, Ann Kerr, and then also his wife, Jenny. Trey and Jenny, O'Gorman grads, and then, of course, his dad, who's been teaching at O'Gorman since 1980, and his mom was a sixth grade teacher at St. Mary's Elementary for 19 years. Other inductees in the O'Gorman Hall of Fame 2021 class was on the academic side was Sam Keene, Mary Sue Donahue, and Paul and Nancy Sharonbrock. And also on the athletic side, Mike Bagaman, the former basketball coach for O'Gorman, right before Coach Roby. He coached basketball at OG for a while. Cedric Lang, who actually played basketball at O'Gorman, then played basketball in college, and then his last year in college decided to try football, and then he got on a few NFL teams. Funny how that works, Isaac. So that rounds out the Cathedral Hall of Fame, or the O'Gorman Cathedral Hall of Fame inductees this year. Isn't that a crazy story about Cedric? Never playing football at O'Gorman, but then he was on, I think they said 4 or 5 NFL teams.
Yep, he ended up playing football his senior year at UTEP, and then made a practice squad. Was on the Patriots practice squad for a while. He was a tight end his senior year in college, and then got converted to the offensive line, put on a bunch of weight, and then I ended up playing pickup basketball with him about a year or so ago when he finally said he's not going to play football anymore. And then he cut a bunch of that weight that he put on simply just to be a lineman. But, I mean, it was just the transformation you saw him take from basketball at a high level to football at tight end, and then all of a sudden go to the NFL and start playing lineman. Just a drastic change in everything that he was doing for a couple of years there.
And was Steve Kerr ever one of your coaches? I can't remember, Isaac, for basketball or football.
He was my JV basketball coach and my sophomore football coach.
Okie dokie.
2 years, actually. As a freshman, I played with the sophomores, and a sophomore played with the sophomores. So 2 years with Steve there. Great times.
And one thing still happened tonight, Isaac, after the football game from 7:30 to 10:30, says weather permitting, which looks like our weather is fine. There's a homecoming post-game party, OG parking lot west of the O-Wing, $5 admission, casual dress, no outside guests, and it's only O'Gorman kids, so you have to be an O'Gorman kid to be able to do that. I believe there might be a homecoming dance. Is that later on tonight too?
Yeah, that's part of that party.
Part of that part, okay.
Yeah, you're just outside in the parking lot area with the speaker and whatnot, just having a good time for the homecoming dance.
All right, so that was Inside O'Gorman, brought to you by the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools. Our 6 elementary schools, junior high and high school, exemplify gospel values, strong student achievement, and community service. Our schools strive to have excellence where it counts in faith, academics, in our community, and in opportunities offered to our students. Visit ognights.org to schedule a tour. We're going to take a quick break, come back for the start of the second half at O'Gorman High School. This is Knights football on Real Presence Radio.
Did you know you can listen to the RPR network when you're on the go? Just search for Real Presence Radio in your app store. Listen live to any station across the network at any time, so you can stay connected to your local community from wherever you are. Plus, if you miss a program, the Real Presence Radio app is your one-stop shop for local and national podcasts, including our signature show, Real Presence Live. The Real Presence Radio app, with you every step of your faith journey. Upon graduation from O'Gorman High School, you will receive far more than a diploma. You get the values of a Catholic education, the support and reach of thousands of alum from across the country, the knowledge that you can become who you were meant to be, and our community will be right there by your side. You belong in blue. O'Gorman High School.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School as we get ready for the second half kickoff as they put an extra minute back on the clock. But some scores from around the state. Right now, the only other score that we've got active is Lincoln 14 on top of Rapid City Stevens with 7. And then those AA game. Oh, that's okay. The AAA game that is supposed to be going on that we haven't quite got a score for yet, starting about 15 minutes ago, was Harrisburg and Washington.
That should be a good one.
Which should be a fantastic game over in Harrisburg.
And tonight's halftime show has been brought to you by the BB Agency, supporting Knights of Columbus Insurance for South Dakota, Southwest Minnesota, and Northeastern Iowa. For life insurance, long-term care insurance, and retirement products, call the BB Agency at 605-882-8689 to connect with a field agent near you. Knights of Columbus Insurance, strong, dependable, faith-based insurance, protecting your family's financial future. Both teams are back on the field for the start of the second half. Lynx leading the Knights 7-3 in the homecoming football game. Here is Isaac Struck, ready for an exciting second half for the Knights. Other couple of games real quick going on. Starting right now is Pierre at Douglas. As Isaac mentioned, Washington at Harrisburg. Spearfish at Sturgis Brown. Tonight, Sioux Falls Jefferson at Yankton. T-Area at Mitchell. Aberdeen Central at Brookings. And finally, Watertown at Huron. Those last 4 are all 7 o'clock starts.
So here we are getting ready for the second half kick for O'Gorman. They'll be kicking from our left to right. Back to the Brandon Valley Lynx, who will get their first possession of the second half. End-over-end kick deep into the back, just in front of the goal line, and returned by Egan, who's going to get to about the 14-yard line is all before he is tackled by a couple of Knights.
Boy, they're playing up quite a bit on that kickoff. You don't usually see 2 returners go backwards 10 yards to catch a kickoff. I mean, they weren't expecting Hagee to kick it that far. Isaac, being a former quarterback with ankle injuries, with now you've kind of sat around like slack. How is this going to affect him? You think this little delay now going in the second half?
Well, you're definitely at halftime get a lot of time to think about that ankle. You get a lot of time to work on it and move it around, but you get a lot of time to sit there and think about your ankle, and then it starts to play a mental, those mental demons in your head that are telling you, hey, I'm trying to go on a bum ankle here. I got to be careful. And that's what ends up kind of inhibiting your performance on the offensive end, is not even the actual physical injury itself, which can be very painful to play with, but it's the mental game, too, that a lot of people tend to forget comes into effect.
That's about a 3-yard completion there. Was that his plant foot? I can't remember which ankle it was that he...
It was his plant foot. It's his right foot that's got that white ankle tape on it.
So is that worse for the quarterback than the other ankle?
I think it is. Just because you're not going to be able to just sit back and plant, you're going to have to drive really hard off of that back foot. And now out the back door is Johnson. It looked like there might have been another hold, but no flag on the field.
And sometimes it's hard to see. You're right, Isaac. I don't think there's any flag because the O'Gorman bench kind of blocks that sideline view. So if the ref did drop a flag over there like the first half, it's hard for us to see up here. So we'll see. Jordan Johnson, the running backs, didn't really do a lot in the first half for Brandon's offensive attack. We'll see if that changes any in the second half, especially with an injured quarterback.
Brandon snap out of the gun, give up the middle to Johnson, and great movement up front from the O'Gorman defensive line. He's going to drop Johnson right at the line of scrimmage.
That's the second time this drive for O'Gorman, number 72. Dominic Skolton has got in there in the defensive line. It's probably your worst nightmare as a running back. You get the ball and you have a 6'5", 240-pound guy hugging you.
No kidding.
Before you can really even get going.
So out of the gun comes Slack and the Lynx. They've got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap to Slack. He'll drop back to pass. He's got pressure in his face. It's Joe Jacobson, and they'll drop him for the sack. As Slack ducked his head, and then it looked like a little bit of a...
Hog-tied him.
Yeah, it just
I don't think it was like a... I'm sure they called the cowboy collar thing in high school, but I don't think it was quite that.
It looked like it more grabbed the shoulder pads from up top, like the sides of the shoulder pads came over the top and just pulled on him from underneath.
So this makes it 3rd and a country mile. About 20 yards to go. Brandon likes to do that screen game. I wouldn't be surprised if they try like a middle screen here or something. Or a delayed screen.
Third down, fake. Yep, there's the screen called perfectly by Brett Byler, but it's not going to be enough to pick up a first down. Is that Tony Romo on the call there?
Skolton again, Isaac. That's 3 plays by the nose tackle, 72 on this drive for the defense. Tony Romo's knowledge is rubbing off on me a little bit. Listen to him doing that Chiefs-Browns game last Sunday.
Yep. Good old Tony. Too bad the
Cowboys
Cowboys snap into the backfield. Not going to be able to get off the punt, and it's going to be down at the 18, and O'Gorman will take over offensively. 1st and 10 inside the 20.
And Alpers was a guy who kind of touched the punter who couldn't scoop up the bad snap. This is another break for O'Gorman. Second turnover for Brandon Valley, and both could be, well, the first one wasn't detrimental, but this one definitely could be. Did you go for a shot in the end zone here, Isaac?
I think on first down I might run it, and on second down take a shot. Here comes Dannenbring rolling out to the left, takes a big hit down inside the 5.
There's a penalty flag flying from the side judge to the left side there. I don't know if it's a hold or what that might be. My eyes did spot that.
Yep,
one.
I can see it.
How about the 8-yard line?
The indication is holding.
He hasn't said a number. All he's said is holding.
Holding. Number 26. 10 yards. Spot of foul. First up.
Looks like it's a holding on Struck.
That hurts.
Only backs the Knights up 4 yards due to the hold being towards the tail end of the play. Now Dannenbring gives up the middle. Jones gets about 2 back.
So in 1st and 14, which you don't see that often.
Yep.
I think that might have been Peterson, Carter Peterson. He's hurt, Isaac, instead of Jones. Well, yeah, I think it's Carter. I'm not for sure what's the injury, but as the trainers come out on the field, we're going to take an injury timeout. Brandon Valley 7, O'Gorman 3. This is O'Gorman Football on Real Presence Radio.
Real Presence Radio is now on Amazon devices. To listen to your station, just ask Alexa to enable the Real Presence Radio skill and use a phrase like,
Alexa, tell Real Presence Radio to play Sioux Falls.
Or,
Alexa, ask Real Presence Radio to play FM 94.5.
You can also visit the Alexa Skills Marketplace and search for Real Presence Radio to enable it. Listen to RPR anytime, anywhere, now on your Amazon devices.
Hello, this is Mark Konzemius, president of the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota. Preparing for the end of life can be overwhelming, even scary. Yet as disciples of Christ, we live in great hope and the reality of God's promise that death is not the end, but a new beginning. The End of Life Planning Workbook for Catholics is now available. I encourage you to reach out to one of our Catholic Community Foundation offices or ccfesd.org. May God bless each of us on our journey to heaven.
welcome back to O'Gorman High School here, home of the homecoming football game between the O'Gorman Knights and Brandon Valley. O'Gorman with the football, 2nd down and 12. Faking the snap rollout. Dannenbring has Struck along the edge. Caught by Struck at the 2. Coming back to the football and making a nice grab for a first down. O'Gorman inside the 5.
You see Struck kind of act like a basketball player boxing out the cornerback that time, and that was a terrific throw as he's getting hit by Dannenbring, and a great catch.
Great offensive execution between Struck and Dannenbring there, and it'll result in 1st and goal, ball on the 2-yard line. Snap, give, Maverick Jones runs over a defender into the end zone. Touchdown, O'Gorman. The sophomore, Maverick Jones, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Little power that time by Maverick Jones.
Yeah, the very undersized running back, just the sophomore, showing a little bit of grit down inside the goal line.
He had a nice some nice speed once he got the ball that time, and the number 7 for Brandon Valley got trucked.
So it'll be Hagee on to kick the extra point here. Struck on the hold, grabs it, puts it down, places it on the tee, kick is up, and good. So O'Gorman comes back onto the scoreboard, and they take a 10-7 lead. With 7:44 left in the third quarter, we'll take a timeout here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Crossroads Book and Music is a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also has gifts for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, and special occasions. Crossroads is located at 41st and Grange, next to Camille's, and are online at crossroadsbook.com. Crossroads, books, gifts, music.
J&J Caseworks and Closets and More is a proud sponsor of the O'Gorman Knights. Following the same rich, winning tradition, family, and Christian values, J&J Caseworks strives to create a work environment to call home. Family-owned and operated, J&J Caseworks has several full-time positions available. Our team members pursue career goals, learn new skills, and get the recognition they deserve. To set up an appointment, J&J Caseworks can be reached at 605-332-0805 or email jobs@jmjcaseworks.com. Go Knights!
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. That scoring drive for Sioux Falls O'Gorman has been brought to you by Closets & More, a locally owned company providing custom designed closets and storage solutions. Closets & More can be reached at 605-334-5135 or online at closetsandmoresd.com as that kickoff is brought out to the 21-yard line, where the Brandon Valley Lynx will be set to take over possession offensively as they now trail by 3.
Yeah, 7:38 left here, so we're about the halfway point of the third quarter, and O'Gorman getting another turnover by Brandon Valley, and this time getting points off of it. A really good play by Dannenbrink to Struck that set up the touchdown run by Maverick Jones. Let's see if the defense now for O'Gorman can hold here.
Slack takes the snap, fakes the give. He'll drop back to pass down the sideline, and it's going to be corralled for a catch by Skolton. It looked like...
Had a pick six potential all over it.
If that ball wasn't low, a very good chance at a pick six there.
Because Theobald was out there, and that's one of those passes that just hangs in the air forever, and you're throwing to the long side of the field as a quarterback.
And Theobald was coming under there to try to pick that thing off and just couldn't get there in time thanks to the low throw and good ball placement.
Almost like the Redskins-Giants game last night with Bradbury getting the interception, and then they mess up the field goal.
Handoff around the outside. First down for O'Gorman. Down inside.
Another hard run by Johnson.
Even though Theobald didn't make the tackle, got trucked, he at least got him toward being out of bounds. There wasn't many people for O'Gorman on that side, on that sideline that time on the Johnson run. Were you watching the game last night when the Giants were offsides on that?
Just what? Oh, man. What can you... I mean, come on. Joe Judge, come on.
Yeah, he's a New England guy. He should know better.
So Brandon will come out, 3 receivers to the left. Take the snap, drop back to pass is Slack. He's got a receiver over the middle. Ball was deflected at the line, swatted away by Skolton, and it'll be second down and 10. Man, he has been having himself an afternoon. Dominic Skolton, the senior.
Dominic Skolton with the play.
And David Alpers had some pressure on that time, too. He took the tackle that time and pushed him right into, or put Nate Myers, the left tackle, right into the back of Slack.
Second down and 10 for Brandon. Ball at the 37-yard line. Skolton, the lone man in the backfield, 4 receivers wide. Snap, quick ball to the sideline is going to be caught for about a 6-yard gain down to the 45. Just shy of the 46.
Both lines today, Isaac, in the line of scrimmage game for offense and defensive fronts are playing so much better tonight for O'Gorman they have, pretty much the whole season, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And now it's 3rd down and 4. 3rd down and 3 is actually what the situation is going to be here for Brandon Valley. Snap to Slack. He drops back to pass. Dime down the field to Skolton. It's caught. And the tackle made by Preston Konechny, but not before Skolton moves the chains once again. Skolton been the workhorse receiver right now for Brandon on the quick out. Now down near the 42-yard line is where they'll mark him.
And he's operating out of the slot, that's one of probably the toughest positions a defensive back to cover is that slot receiver with all the room where they can do the in route or the out routes.
Especially just with a layered routes there for Brandon against O'Gorman's defense, being able to extend the route from that outside receiver up the field and force them to kind of clear out. And then you see another out route, this time caught on the right sideline by Dylan Langrock. But you see those initial outside receivers getting more down the field to cause that corner to kind of bail out and then give yourself room on the sideline with those quick outs.
And that was about a yard gain, if that, on that long out pass to the sideline.
So here we are, second down. Brandon will come to the line of scrimmage, and they'll have two receivers to the right, or three receivers with the tight end over there. A lone receiver to the left. Now they'll send Skolton in motion from right to left on the formation. They'll drop back to pass. Another out to Skolton. This time Skolton was going to pick up the first down. Tackled by number 21, Logan Height. They are really riding Skolton's legs right now in the passing game as they're just letting him catch the ball in space and letting him do the work.
Be nice if the Knights could get a big player on first down or second down, get him behind the chains a little bit on third down.
So here comes Brandon out of the I formation, sends Carroll from right to left. Now they'll run up the middle with Johnson, and this time stuffed by David Alpers initially, as well as Anders Matichek and Skolton.
Dominic again.
Vinny also has to be happy with Dominic's performance here, especially in the second half. He's been a beast out there.
Dominic Skolton really doing a lot up front right now for the Knights defensively.
And that helps your linebackers too. And your defensive tackles either getting pressure like him or taking up blockers. That allows your guys behind him, the Maticheks and the Carter Petersons, to run free.
Absolutely. And just the amount of push that the Knights are getting up front on the defensive line from all of their guys has been really impressive so far this game, something we haven't seen a whole lot of yet. Slack, handoff, straight give to Johnson. Initially was wrapped up, then squeezed out of the tackle. I think it was White that got to him initially, or was that?
Another tough run.
Yep, that was White.
Tackled by Clan of Knights.
Now Knights players down. That was right at the end of the play where a Brandon Valley blocker just kind of pancaked. Can't see the number, but pancaked an O'Gorman guy at the end of the play, and I don't know if it's a cramp.
I think, yeah, it's.
So we're going to, Isaac, take a quick injury timeout. 3:38 left in the third quarter. It's still Lynx 7, or excuse me, it's now Knights 10, Lynx 7 on Real Presence Radio.
I'm Bishop Donald DeGrood. I'd like to invite you to the Through God's Love Conference on Saturday, October 30th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. Over the last few months, we've been spreading the word about the diocesan vision, lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. Now I'd like to invite you to participate in this conference, where we will help you respond to God's call and in turn help others know and love Him themselves. Visit sfcatholic.org and join me in the renewal the Holy Spirit is working in our diocese.
So the injured Knight was Dominic Skolton down on the field as he's helped off. It looks like it's just something kind of cramping up there, maybe just a little gingerly walking back to the sideline, but it looks like it's nothing too serious as he is walking his way over to the trainer's table. It looked like he might have just been rolled up on.
Sometimes at the end of the play, too, you kind of relax a little bit. I know if that's what he did, and he got pancaked a little bit, too.
So out of the eye, 3rd down and 8, Brandon Valley. Ball at the 30, roll out pass, play action, thrown near the sideline, caught by number 10. That was Dylan Langrock for a first down after Slack was absolutely buried in the backfield by number 33, Anders Matichek. Score update. Washington on top of Harrisburg with 9 minutes left in the second quarter in Harrisburg, 7-0.
There's so much separation between the cornerback and receiver that play. You're right, Slack just got killed, but Just too much separation that time.
So here comes Slack, another rollout, another pass, this time incomplete. Bobbled off the hands of Brady Giles.
So now we're right in the red zone at 20-yard line of O'Gorman. And Zach Carlson, 57's now in at nose tackle for O'Gorman.
Looks like Skolton's just going to get taped up here. Snap and give to Johnson, straight up the middle, and Johnson into the second level. He'll push his way into the end zone. No, they'll mark him 2 yards short as he rolled into the end zone. It'll be first down and goal.
I'm surprised Brandon hasn't done more of that lead power. O'Gorman has to try to get a player off the field. I don't think he made it. Oh, the refs saw it, but it's a touchdown anyway.
They did see it. I do see the flag there.
Jordan Johnson carries it across for a touchdown.
So the flag on the field will be for 12 men.
So they'll just decline this, right, and get the touchdown, or is that a dead ball?
Oh, can't remember in high school.
In the NFL, I think you just decline it. It's a touchdown. Which it looks like it is, I think.
Yep.
Substitution for defense. Player to knock down field time. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So the 5-yard penalty there on the substitution infraction will be assessed on the kickoff. So here comes the extra point for Brandon Valley. As Zach Brummels comes on to kick. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that is a high floater. That is no good. So the field goal is missed, which keeps it a 3-point ball game. So a field goal would tie it here for O'Gorman. Brandon Valley 13, O'Gorman 10, 2:56 left in the third quarter. Stay tuned for more Knights football here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Upon graduation from O'Gorman High School, you will receive far more than a diploma. You get the values of a Catholic education, the support and reach of thousands of alum from across the country, the knowledge that you can become who you were meant to be, and our community will be right there by your side. You belong in blue. O'Gorman High School.
Are you ready for some football? Real Presence Radio has you covered. We will be broadcasting and video streaming Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights football games both home and away this fall, starting on Saturday, August 28th. Have your business's radio spot heard across the radio, YouTube video stream, mobile app, and RPR website during all our O'Gorman football broadcasts. If your business would like to sponsor our O'Gorman football broadcast, contact me, Brett Byler, at 605-670-8333.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School as that kickoff was fielded by Theobald. As he brings the ball back to the...
We have a car that is parked in a fire lane.
So now we have another...
Oh, looks like it's a cramp.
Ability to leave.
Man, tell you what, I've seen more cramping this season.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Is that Theobald, the returner? I can't see a number in regards
I think
to that.
it is.
We can just stay right here. And what were you saying on the update on the score? Washington at the moment was Washington's playing in Harrisburg right now.
Washington was up 7-0.
And Lincoln, or Stevens and Lincoln are playing at Howard Wood right now as well.
Yes, that game was still 14-7 the last time I saw that score update. Oh man, now
Thank you.
we'll go to Twitter.
The old Twitter link, as Theobald will get up and limp off. Give him a little Gatorade and he should be all right.
Yeah, Gatorade, pickle juice, something of that matter. Still is 14-7. Lincoln on top of Stevens. So a tight game over at Howard Wood. Started the third quarter was 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, but that game started at the same time as our game at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
As the only other 5 start.
So here comes O'Gorman offensively, trailing by 3. Snap to Dannenbring, looks off a defender, and then keeps up the middle for about 5, maybe 6 yards on the first play of
Dannenbring on the carry.
scrimmage here offensively.
And as you accurately mentioned, Isaac, in the first half, I love how Dannenbring gets north and south. Like, he's gets the ball and he's going forward, not east and west. And he's going to give you a positive, and with that lean forward, too.
Yep.
He's going to give you probably 2 to 3 yards at least every time he runs it.
A killer drive from Brandon there as they basically consumed the entire quarter offensively. Now they'll throw a deep pass over the middle. Caught by Alpers. What a grab! David Alpers lays out across the 50. They'll give him the 45 as Alpers makes the incredible grab for a first down on a beautiful pass from Bennett Dannenbring, and that's the SDSU commit right there showing his true colors.
If we had an RPR top 10 plays of the day, that'd be in there.
What a grab by David Alpers, setting up the first down.
Big momentum-changing play that was.
Snap to Dannenbring. Fake of the give. He'll roll out to the right side. Dannenbring will carry the ball for about 8 yards. It'll be second down and short.
Tackled by number 2.
He's one of those guys too. You tackle him, you might feel it worse than he does. He's a
absolutely.
big guy for a quarterback, especially those little defensive backs out there. Take a shot here, Isaac. 30.
I would. I might as well.
This is a good
second
spot
down
to do it.
Second down and short. Maybe on that single receiver side. Nope, they'll give it this time to Jones, who scampers around the edge for a couple of yards, then bulldozes his way forward for 7 yards and a first down for O'Gorman. Now I feel like you run it and then take one shot to the end zone on second down. It's 4-down territory regardless.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're close enough for a field goal and you want to play for the tie, that's great. But right now...
And I think anything 35 or in, I don't think you even would attempt, a field goal without knowing. I mean... Unless Hagee's been the secret weapon we've been holding back all season.
Dannenbring takes the snap. He'll give it to Jones along the outside, where he'll be wrapped up by quite a few Lynx defenders at the 32-yard line. Now you got to go with some sort of intermediate pass over the middle here just to gain a little bit of yards to set up third down and short for 2 downs, essentially. Will be a loss of 2.
We're closing in maybe the last play of the third quarter, Isaac, with 25 seconds and running.
Loss of 2.
So it'll be Dannenbring out of the gun. 3 receivers in a bunch set to his left. He'll send Struck in motion from left to right. He'll drop back, throw a quick pass to Struck along the edge, where he's knocked down at the 30. Yep, they'll give him the 30-yard line. So a gain of 3 back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll do it for the third quarter. So from O'Gorman High School, Brandon Valley clinging to a 13-10 lead over the O'Gorman Knights, with O'Gorman with the football when we come back at the 30-yard line on 3rd and 10 here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Your family is depending on you to provide financial security for them. The Knights of Columbus can help you with insurance solutions such as disability income, long-term care, both term and whole life, annuities, retirement, and estate planning services. Join the Knights of Columbus today at kfc.org/join us for access to all these insurance services. Call the BB Agency at 605-882-8689. That's 605-882-8689.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School on Real Presence Radio Network. O'Gorman Knights football getting ready to start the fourth quarter with the football at the 30-yard line. How we got here on this drive, a nice connection from Bennett Dannenbring to David Alpers on a diving snag over the middle, and then another first down. And now we've got 3rd down and 10 for O'Gorman, ball at the 30. Peyton Hagee has a field goal on the afternoon.
I believe that was about 31 yards, if I can remember.
So I mean, it looked like he had plenty of leg to spare. I'm guessing field goal range probably about 40 yards. So need a couple of yards at least, but I think this is 4-down territory for O'Gorman. You're trying to set the stage for the rest of the season here. Snap, Dannenbring, give. It's a reverse. Struck will roll out. Looked like he was going to pass, and there's nothing doing on the backside. Brandon didn't bite at all.
Well, the guy over there, Landry, I think he was blocking. So I don't know if that was weird because if it's a pass play, I don't know, was there a receiver in the route?
I didn't see anyone, but it looked like he grabbed it. It looked like he was going to pull it up and throw, and then didn't.
And you lost so many yards here, you pretty much just have to go for it, I think, because you're not going to gain any yards if you punt it, right? You're at the 35.
No. The reverse to the short side of the field, always a tough play.
So now it's 4th and 15.
Dannenbring's going to have to work something here. He'll just quick kick it, and that goes nowhere.
Or the ref. So 23, so that was a 12-yard difference.
That's not ideal.
You did a few of those, didn't you, in your day as quarterback?
Yeah. And I was the punter, so
okay. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. That wasn't something that I was typically proud of, was having to punt after not getting a first down. But I was the punter, but so it made it a kind of a seamless transition to quick kick it. But yes, we did do that a couple of times just to catch that defense off. Snap to Slack, drops back to pass over the middle, tipped a couple of times, and then nearly picked off. It was Konechny that was closest.
Man, that would have been a game changer right there. And that was 3 Knights and 1 Link guy, and tipped 2 or 3 times, and nobody caught it.
And teammates.
Slack's got away with a couple throws like that tonight where you probably shouldn't have thrown it to begin with.
So here we are, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Slack out of the gun, the lone man in the backfield. Drops back to pass. He's got pressure in his face, avoids the sack, now rolls out to the left side where he's planted by Anders Matacek. Again, Matacek laying the wood on the quarterback as he'll gain 7 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Boy, Matacek closed the distance quick that time, and Slack's ankle looked pretty good running till he got stood up by Matacek. That
you can tell he didn't quite want to plant on a cut there. Like, he didn't want to plant with that right foot, so he just kind of gave himself up at the last second and ended up taking a big hit. 3rd down and 3. Big play here for the O'Gorman defense. Snap to Slack. He'll drop back to pass along the sideline. Grabbed by Peyton Carroll for a first down. What a grab by Carroll.
That's, 6'4" against what's Theobald, maybe 5'11". I mean, it just kind of, like Manny kind of just boxed him out, jump ball.
Yeah.
And he's going to win that probably 9 out of 10 times. Well, Skolton was in for a while. Now he's out. Carlson in at nose.
So Struck comes in for Theobald to play the corner position on that side with Carroll. Snap, give to Johnson, up the middle. This time cut down by Struck. A nice tackle that time by Struck.
Struck on the tackle.
He was listening to you, not using the shoulder. Did you have a pep talk with him at halftime?
Yeah, I must have, telepathically.
And actually, folks, one thing to note, in about 8 minutes, we'll be actually on the radio as well. It's 6:52, so at 7 o'clock, our live drive coverage will be over. So then, besides listening to us on the stream, you can hear us on the radio on 94.5 and 91.3, and also on the mobile app for the exciting finish of this game.
9:15 left. Brandon with the ball, 2nd down and 7. Snap to Slack, give up the middle. Nothing doing as Johnson is going to be pushed backwards after a gain of about a half of a yard, it looks like, as they're going to give him 1. And it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Good job by just Carlson, the nose, kind of just stacking up the play. If you can't make the play as someone in the middle, you try and make a pile.
Absolutely.
And just create congestion. Or if you're trying to push you back, just fall down.
So here comes O'Gorman's defense, 3rd down and 6. They need to get a stop here for some big-time momentum.
Got 1-1 top of the screen with Carroll and Height.
Snap over the middle to Carroll. It's going to be juggled and caught! Oh, my goodness. That ball bounced around about 6 times, and Carroll, laying flat on his back, catches it after it was tipped straight up into the air.
Despite the good coverage by the Knights.
You could see it was going to Carroll the whole time. And it still, after being tipped by not one defender but 2 Knights defenders, Carroll laying flat on his back, kind of just right spot, right time, drops into his lap for a 1st down. Now O'Gorman's got to dig deep here defensively. Snap, give, up the middle, Egan.
And this is what Brandon Valley wants. I mean, it reminds you a little bit of the Roosevelt game. Knights defense can't get off the field on 3rd down. That clock just keeps going down and down. I do like what we saw the last play, Isaac, where Mandy was out on Carroll. Just get some more height out there. I mean, if nothing else, you know.
Yeah, make them earn it out there on the outside, because it's Carroll on 3rd downs every time. You can see it coming. Right now, the Knights haven't found an answer. Snap, give up the middle.
That's going to be close to the 1st down.
It'll be about 2 yards short. Egan up the middle for 3 yards.
Would the person who picked up the phone in the press box please return to the press box? Thank you.
I think this is probably 4 down territory for Brandon Valley, honestly, too. With the ball at the 30-yard line, 3rd and 2. Clock at 6:52 here in the 4th. Unless you get a 6-yard loss or something on this play.
O'Gorman needs a big stop here defensively. Snap to Slack, quick out route. That one incomplete. O'Gorman catches a break as that one just sailed right through the hands of Carroll. The sure-handed tight end / wideout for Brandon just had that one go directly through his hands. I'll tell you what, though, he didn't have the one go through his hands where he caught laying on his back.
Well, that one, I think Slack, I don't know why he threw it so hard. I mean, he could have just put so much mustard on it. You just kind of, I mean, we got a timeout by the Knights defense, Isaac, here.
Yep, so Gorman want to talk this over. Get a stop here defensively. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back. Knights trailing 13 to 10. 4th down and 2 at the 30-yard line for Brandon when we come back.
Real Presence Radio is now on Google Assistant devices, including Google Home, phones, tablets, and smart displays. To start this action, say something like, "Okay Google, talk to Real Presence Radio." It will then ask what station you want to play, to which you can respond, "Play Sioux Falls," or "Play AM 970," or "Play WWEN. From there you can use words like play, pause, and stop. Listen to RPR anytime, anywhere, now on Google Assistant devices.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. The Knights trail 13 to 10.
This is a big, big play, Isaac, for O'Gorman because, you know, if you can stop him, get the ball back. If Brandon Valley gets the 1st down, then you're probably looking at another minute and a half or 2 minutes off the clock and probably won't get the ball back till about, 3-4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, this is a big down.
If I'm O'Gorman, I might blitz a couple linebackers in the A gap. I mean, because they're doing a lot of those short passes anyway.
So O'Gorman defense needs a big stop here. The crowd's starting to get involved. 4th down and 2. Ball at the 30. Brandon needs the 28. Slack. Straight drop back pass. Receiver slipped. It's incomplete. Intended for Langrock. Struck on the coverage. And that'll be a turnover on downs. So O'Gorman's defense holds. And the Knights get the football back. Hoofed. A big sigh of relief for everybody. The straight drop back pass looked like it kind of fooled the O'Gorman defense at first. And then Langrock tried to come out of his break, slipped to the turf, jumped up to bat it away, and by then it was already past both of them.
Too bad it wasn't a better pass. It struck him. Maybe he did a pick 6 that time with the receiver falling.
No kidding.
Do we have a legal
I
substitution?
think we've got 12 guys in the huddle.
Aren't those things that probably just annoy Papaga more than anything?
Oh,
You
man.
switch possessions, you get the ball back after that, and you have one too many guys on the field.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So they must have broke the huddle with 12. I didn't see who ran off the field. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Struck the lone receiver on the left side. Dannenbring out of the gun with Jones in the backfield, offset to his right. Dannenbring takes the snap, drops back the pass. It's a straight drop. He's got pressure now. He's going to get sacked. Gotta sense that backside pressure a little bit. It'll be 2nd down and 15 now.
Yeah, it's kind of, what's that internal clock for you as a quarterback? So, he's about 2-3 seconds. At about 3 seconds, you're kind of, you're escape
It's a
mode.
1-1000, and on 2-1000, that ball's got to come out. And if it doesn't, you got to know, you got to have a little bit of a feel from, especially from your sides, not in front of you, obviously, but your sides and behind you. You got to have a little bit of that sixth sense. It's very tough. Pass completed to Hagee over on the sideline, but can't catch much of a block out there.
Complete to Hagee. Tackled by number 2.
And that's what those screenplays, those receivers out there, you need the other receiver to get that first block, because if they don't, you're either going to get your defensive back to blow it up or make the play, and that's what happened there. Now 3rd and long.
15 for the night.
Are you trying to, well, you get half of it, you're going to have to punt it. So you're.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what the Knights try to pull up with here. 3rd down and 15. They need the 40. Dannenbring, straight drop back. He'll roll out to his right. He's got a lot of room to run. He's going to make one defender miss, and then he's upended. Ball flies out of bounds. Dannenbring just runs incredibly hard, and then an incredibly hard hit.
That was Noah Thompson, number 14, your SDSU boy, Isaac.
Noah Thompson, not afraid of anything.
Did they get enough they're going to go for it now? Ugh. Let's see, 4:44. O'Gorman has how many timeouts
you might as well
left?
be, and then give them a little bit shorter of a field. You might as well here. So O'Gorman, 4th down.
Oh, the running back moved, and the ref didn't see it. Jones moved. Not by much, but 14 moved.
False start. Offense. Number 14. 5-yard
Now you got to punt it.
And now they'll send out the punting unit.
I know.
Sloppy.
It's a 32. So you've been looking about 4th and 3. Now it's 4th and 8. But you do have 2 timeouts.
The one thing that you get there is even if you don't get the first down, Brandon, it's a shorter field. They're either going to score or they're not, and it's going to be less time on the clock. I like the call because if you give them the whole field and they just continue to pick up first down, the game's over. Eventually, you're going to run out of room on a short field.
They don't have anyone back.
A nice punt by Hagee.
Oh,
and then
bad
takes
bounce.
not no Gorman bounce. Takes a Brandon bounce. Downed by Satter.
On this field, that's the rare time it doesn't do a bounce advantageous for the punter. Usually it's it bounced the other way.
So that time.
Good. I really like that. I didn't even think of that, Isaac, in regards to the field. And, if you say you punt it and get the ball here and get 3 first downs, rather get the ball at the 30-yard line, 2 or 3 first downs, it's a touchdown or a field goal.
And then and then it's a shorter field. It limits your play selection for Brandon. It limits the opportunities that you have to the sides.
And they haven't shown they have a kicker that can kick either.
Yep, so O'Gorman, I did like the idea of going for that there. So Slack out of the gun, sends Carroll in motion, will give up the middle to Johnson. Johnson met, and then trucks his way forward for 5.
That's a good second effort by the running back. He probably got 3 of those 5 yards on his own. And let's see.
Johnson on the carry.
And we are on the radio right now, guys. So tune into, if you don't want to watch the stream, if you're just driving in your car and you can't get to it, 94.5, 91.3 on the app. Sure, there's some Strucks out there listening to on the app.
Yeah, of course.
So when do you think Poppinga will start, say they get a first down here, then would he start using maybe in one of his timeouts?
I think, after
you hold him.
You're going to hold him. I don't think you use him yet. Snap to Slack. Give in the backfield. Tackled for a loss. Now you want to think about using them. You don't take the timeout yet.
Good job.
Third down and 8. If you get the stop here and force a fourth down, then you take the timeout.
That's a good play by, right. That's a good play by Carter Peterson.
What a great play by Peterson to knock down Egan in the backfield. Now on the sideline, you got to get your offense ready to go. You got to make sure you're putting in the plays. Gosh, what a tough position for Peyton Hagee to be in right now, because if you get in a field goal position, a field goal would tie the game for Hagee. But just his first game doing all the kicking duties, it's just tough to be thrown into that position right now.
Crowd on their feet.
Third down and 8, and we've got a timeout, Brandon.
Timeout. Brandon Valley.
We're going to stay right here, Isaac, with this big play coming up. So the Knights, with 2 timeouts, the goal obviously here is to stop them, but if you don't, then you still are able to stop the clock twice. I would assume Brandon Valley is going to throw the ball as much as they've tossed it around today, and I'm guessing number 80, either number 80 Carroll or number 3 Skolton will be your 2 targets for the Lynx here. And one thing, though, has been really, I think, the most encouraging part about the Knights' offense this season, Isaac, has been their 2-minute drill.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you saw that at Harrisburg. I mean, you saw that at the end of the first half. They didn't get any points, but they do that, I think, better with popping in any team and stay having those plays, make a play, then go up and do another play without even wasting any time. So that is something that they have going for them as well. Here we go.
Third down and 8. The O'Gorman defense needs to stop here. Brandon Valley sends a tight end in motion from left to right. They'll take the snap. It's Slack dropping back on a straight pass. Ball is behind the receiver of Carroll, but he came back to make the catch.
Was that tipped as well?
And a first down for Brandon Valley.
My gosh, Isaac, that's the second time on a play like that. I don't know if that was either just tipped or behind him, but he, golly.
Timeout.
First and 10.
We're going to, now the Knights will have to burn a timeout. So we're going to take a break. We got 2:27 left. Lynx up by 3, holding on to the lead. Let's see if the Knights defense can get a stop here.
I'm Bishop Donald DeGrood. I'd like to invite you to the Through God's Love Conference on Saturday, October 30th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. Over the last few months, we've been spreading the word about the diocesan vision, lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. Now I'd like to invite you to participate in this conference, where we will help you respond to God's call and in turn help others know and love Him themselves. Visit sfcatholic.org and join me in the renewal the Holy Spirit is working in our diocese.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. O'Gorman in a tough position right now. First and 10 for Brandon after converting on third down and 8.
Only one timeout. Oh, it was?
The guy that I know running the camera up top said when he was zoomed in on it, the ball was tipped at the line.
Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way, I guess. Sometimes it does for Brandon's case tonight on those 2 pass catches by Caro.
Snap to Slack, give to Johnson. He'll run around the outside, pick up 4 yards. They'll say the clock will continue to run, and a timeout here from O'Gorman. That'll be their last.
And man, Isaac, he was dangerously close to running out of bounds, which is the last thing as Brandon Valley you want to do there. We'll just keep it right here.
If you're O'Gorman, you almost want to just shove him out.
Yeah, like kind of lead him out of bounds. That's a good positive 4-yard play too. So basically a first down by Brandon Valley here will win the game. They can just kneel her out. But a stop here. We still have life.
Yep.
Like you said, the tough part is having a different field goal kicker too.
Yeah.
When you're on your backup field goal kicker too. So. And there was no Connor Pavelko isn't coming back into the building anytime soon, unfortunately for us.
That is the truth.
Or
Zach Riedel, the miracle kick in Harrisburg last year.
If you get a fumble, that'd be your best case scenario if you're O'Gorman. We've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, that's the darn truth of it.
So you're trying to strip it if you're the defense.
2:21 left. Slack will come from under center. I formation. He'll drop back, hand it off to Johnson, who just rumbles his way for a first down. And there's your ball game. At least it should be.
And there was a hole that time.
First and 10 Lynx.
2:05 left.
Would you try to run like a stretch, like a running play where there would be more time coming off the clock than just a straight dive here? Or does it really make a ton of difference?
I think if you're Brandon right now, knowing O'Gorman doesn't have any timeouts, any sort of play right now, as long as you take care of the football.
Right. Any running play right here.
Yep. Keep it on the ground, move it. Give, tackled by Alpers.
And now Carlson. If it's a cramp. So the clock will momentarily stop with the injury timeout. So we're going to take a break as well at the MAC. Lynx holding on to a 13-10 lead. A minute 48 left, or minute 28, left in the fourth quarter. This is O'Gorman football on the Real Presence Radio Network.
It's a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also has gifts for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, and special occasions. Crossroads is located at 41st and Grange, next to Camille's, and are online at crossroadsbook.com. Crossroads, books, gifts, music.
J&J Caseworks and Closets and More is a proud sponsor of the O'Gorman Knights. Following the same rich, winning tradition, family, and Christian values, J&J Caseworks strives to create a work environment to call home. Family-owned and operated, J&J Caseworks has several full-time positions available. Our team members pursue career goals, learn new skills, and get the recognition they deserve. To set up an appointment, J&J Caseworks can be reached at 605-332-0805 or email jobs@jmjcaseworks.com. Go Knights!
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. It's second down and 10. The clock is running. O'Gorman just trying to strip it here at this point. Hand off to Johnson. He'll run up the middle. He'll get 3, maybe 4 yards. That'll bring up third down. The clock's going to wind to at least inside of 20 seconds here.
Carter Peterson and friends in on the tackle.
So Sioux Falls Lincoln on top of Rapid City Stevens right now, 35-14.
So they've kind of blew that one open then.
And Harrisburg and Washington knotted up at 7 heading into the half. Sioux Falls, or Lincoln and Rapid City back-to-back weeks traveling to Howard Wood Field. That would be very tough.
Now they have, are they going to kneel it here?
Yep. 22 seconds on the clock. Here comes the kneel from Slack. And that'll do it. Yep. So Brandon Valley will move to 4-0 on the season. O'Gorman drops to 1-3. They're losing the homecoming football game 13-10 in a tightly contested battle throughout. Both teams had a chance to kind of make some noise and almost pull away in this one, but neither team could really get anything going, and eventually the last blow was that Brandon Valley touchdown on that third quarter touchdown drive that was spanning about 8 minutes. And that'll do it. So stay tuned for the Knights Locker Room Show here on Real Presence Radio Network after the break.
Sioux Equipment Company can fix, sell, and repair gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors. They offer sales and services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment in Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company is located at 1310 East 39th Street in Sioux Falls, just off of East Benson Road. They can be reached by calling 605-334-1653. Again, that number is 605-334-1653.
Hi, Father Sampson. What are you doing?
Hey, Mrs. Colbeck. I've just been spending hours enjoying our new swing set at Christ the King Playground. It's so much fun.
That's right, the new swing set.
With our classroom sizes averaging 15 to 20 students, everyone's going to get their turn on these new swings.
With tuition assistance available, it is never too late to enroll for preschool through 6th grade at Christ the King. It's going to be a great school year.
Early in his time as the new bishop of the Diocese of Sioux Falls, Bishop Donald DeGrood sensed in prayer the vision that the Lord has for the diocese in our time: lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. That is, for each and every Catholic in eastern South Dakota to receive God's love, to be in personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and to share that love with others. Find out more at sfcatholic.org/vision and discover the exciting and beautiful part you have to play in God's plan.
From the Real Presence Radio Network, welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Locker Room Show. Now, back to the field.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School as both teams now gathering on the field. Looks like to say a prayer, knowing that both teams have had some hardships felt between both the coaching staff from Brandon Valley and Chad Garrow, and then Connor Roman, who's in attendance of tonight's ball game for the O'Gorman Knights. Really cool moment here, and better get a picture for
Oh, absolutely.
Twitter.
Mr. Social Media himself, Isaac Struck's going to get the picture of the day. This is really cool. I mean, you see some coaches and some players and sportsmanship. Sometimes it's something you might take for granted, but what I've noticed in 8 years of covering O'Gorman and South Dakota sports, there's really been great sportsmanship for the most part shown at all times. So gotta love to see that, and who knows, maybe these two teams will see each other again in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the hope, is now O'Gorman really going to have a little bit of a tough next stretch of games, just to keep themselves rolling, I should say. You know, after dropping a game like this, now you got to bounce back against Lincoln. That'll be a tough game. And then you get both Rapid schools. You get Huron and Jefferson, and that closes out your season. And right now, 1-3, you're hoping to obviously be in that 5-4, 6-3 range. If you can win out, that's obviously great. But it's tough sledding right now for O'Gorman. I did see Jason Poppinga heading up here, so we will get to hear from Coach Poppinga up in the booth.
I don't know who the player on the bench is with all the trainers around him.
I believe it's Sam Jacobson.
Okay. Because now the Knights have their little prayer in their huddle with all their students running on the field.
Not sure, and I didn't see what happened to him.
At
least during the game.
A lot of people around him.
So we are now joined by head coach Jason Poppinga of the O'Gorman Knights. Coach, this ball game, it seemed like both teams had a lot of opportunities to kind of either pull away or take the lead in certain situations. We saw early Brandon missed that wide open tight end streaking down the middle of the field. And then after O'Gorman catches up defensively on that long run from slack, you then see Brandon put the ball on the turf and give the ball back to you guys. So it just seemed like Brandon missed a couple of opportunities early in that ball game, and then we missed a couple of opportunities when we get down near the red zone and then just can't really execute on certain plays. And I thought that we got some better push up front today, and we're able to run the ball a little more successfully than we have so far this season. But what kind of did you guys see on the field that we just couldn't get quite past that hump and dropped a 3-point ball game to Brandon?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, like you said, you don't win very many games scoring 10 points. And, you know, realistically, 7 of those points were given to us by our defense. I mean, the botched punt, and then we punch it in. You know, early in the game, I mean, we have a wide open receiver, we have Manny wide open, we don't throw the football. You know, we have mistake here, mistake there, and, you know, we just haven't been able to really execute like what you said on offense. I mean, it was a better game. I mean, our kids fought hard. I mean, our defense played really well. I mean, anytime you hold a really good team, you know, to 13 points, I mean, we should win those games. And, you know, historically, our teams, you know, score 20, 30, 40 points a game. And this year we just haven't been able to do that. We haven't found those explosive plays. We're not winning man-to-man. You know, we've had maybe a couple opportunities, but, you know, we don't necessarily have the team speed we've had in the past. I mean, we look at our guys and, we just don't have that. We don't have the breakaway guy. I mean, our outside receivers, Rush is a great possession receiver. Alper is a possession receiver. But, they're not going to run past people, and Manny hasn't been able to get, the big touchdown pass yet. We maybe had the one opportunity there today. But realistically, our defense is playing well enough to win, and our offense isn't. Until we get that fixed, we're going to keep losing football games.
Were you happy with the line of scrimmage game today? And Skolton in the second half, number 72 on defense, felt like he was able at that nose position to make some plays for your defense and get a nice little push for you.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, both lines of scrimmage, I thought, did pretty well. I mean, defensively, to hold a running team like Brandon, to the point total that we did. I mean, they did an outstanding job, and our linebackers did a lot better job filling compared to a week ago where we let, seams become touchdowns just because we weren't being very aggressive. And offensively, we ran the ball pretty well. I mean, we had a couple mistakes, once again, where, we missed a block, on one where we would have had a touchdown, and then, little things here where we don't give it and we should have kept it, or we give it and keep it. It's, it's just been little stuff here and there, and we just haven't been able to put it together. And hopefully we do. I mean, we're going to keep working at it and hopefully try to become a better football team. And, we're going to have a tough Lincoln game, just like every other team in AAA. It's a battle every time you come out to play, and you got to bring your best A game to win football games. And we just haven't been able to put it together yet.
Absolutely. And just to quickly touch before we let you get out of here on that Lincoln game, Lincoln coming here, so you guys get a back-to-back homestand and an opportunity to get back on the winning track. Lincoln was playing Stevens today at Howard Wood. It was 14-7 at halftime, and then Lincoln now up 35-14. What do you expect to see out of a Lincoln team that we've seen this year take a couple of good teams down the wire?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume Lincoln, they're going to bring heavy pressure on us. I mean, they've always been a defense that likes to blitz and bring pressure, and we haven't proved we can win man-to-man. So I assume that, they're going to come and they're going to bring, 6 guys in the box, and they're going to make us prove that we've got a guy that can go out there and win. And right now, we haven't consistently done that. So until we prove that, I think teams are just going to keep sending the pressure and make us earn it.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, for your time as always, and good luck next week with Sioux Falls Lincoln and hoping to get back on that winning track.
Thanks, Coach. Guys. Appreciate it.
And that was O'Gorman football coach Jason Poppinga. We want to thank Coach for coming up to have a few words with us after the ball game, and look forward to seeing what him and his coaching staff will put together for the week ahead for a big Lincoln game, which, we mentioned, Isaac, in the pregame show. Tonight could be a season-turning game if we would win it, get that momentum. Lincoln, exactly the same case next week, because the schedule does get a little bit softer for the Knights after that ball game. So we'll see what happens that game. But we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to have our Pizza Ranch players of the game. We'll find out who those players are after a 60-second break. You're listening to Knights Locker Room Show on Real Presence Radio.
Hi, this is Brett Byler, Area Account Executive with Real Presence Radio. Did you know the signal of Real Presence Radio reaches an audience of over 2.4 million people across North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, and Wyoming? Have you ever thought about running radio spots on the RPR network? We want to partner with you to help gain exposure for your business in front of a very faithful customer base. To find out more about the options, please call me, Brett Byler, at 605-670-8333.
Real Presence Radio is now on Google Assistant devices, including Google Home, phones, tablets, and smart displays. To start this action, say something like, "Okay Google, talk to Real Presence Radio." It will then ask what station you want to play, to which you can respond, "Play Sioux Falls," or "Play AM 970," or "Play WWEN. From there you can use words like play, pause, and stop. Listen to RPR anytime, anywhere, now on Google Assistant devices.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School. We're now going to give out our Pizza Ranch player of the game, and offensively we're going to give that to the junior Peyton Hagee, who had that big first down reception for O'Gorman and then kicked that field goal. He was doing a lot of good things offensively in his first start. That would award him the Pizza Ranch offensive player of the game. And then defensively, who did you think, Brett?
And that Hagee, I'm going to piggyback real quick. Hagee, that was a 66-yard touchdown, 66-yard catch that set up the field goal. Defensively, Anders Matchek, great hits tonight, was in position. He filled the gaps. I thought he was very solid tonight, leader on the defense. Anders Matchek, defensive player of the game. Tonight, Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights players of the game are brought to you by Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street in Sioux Falls. Pizza Ranch is a daily buffet and a fun zone for kids to play in. Pizza Ranch can be reached by calling 271-8646. We'll take our final break, come back with a final scoreboard update, closing comments, and a quick for next week preview of the Lincoln game, all after the 60-second break on Real Presence Radio.
Is there an event that you would like announced right here on the RPR network? Please email the details at least 2 weeks in advance to Therese at realpresenceradio.com. That's Therese at realpresenceradio.com. We can help spread the word about what's happening at your parish and in your diocese. Again, that email address is Therese at realpresenceradio.com.
I'm Bishop Donald DeGrood. I'd like to invite you to the Through God's Love Conference on Saturday, October 30th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. Over the last few months, we've been spreading the word about the diocesan vision, lifelong Catholic missionary discipleship through God's love. Now I'd like to invite you to participate in this conference, where we will help you respond to God's call and in turn help others know and love Him themselves. Visit sfcatholic.org and join me in the renewal the Holy Spirit is working in our diocese.
Welcome back to O'Gorman High School here as the O'Gorman Knights drop a 13-10 ball game to the Brandon Valley Lynx. Now we'll come back with our scoreboard update. So Brett, take it away.
Thanks, Isaac. A game that's about ready to be over at Howard Wood right now. Lincoln 35, Rapid City Stevens 14. As you alluded to, Isaac, Lincoln pulling away from Stevens in the second half. At the end of the first half in Harrisburg 7, Washington 7. I might have to go home and watch the second half of that one on YouTube. Sioux Falls Jefferson up on Yankton 7-3. That's up in Yankton in the first quarter. Some other games going on right now. I hit the wrong thing. Here we go. Spearfish up on Sturgis Brown 7-0. Pierre up on Douglas 7-0. Aberdeen Central up on Brookings 7-0. You get a theme here. Huron and Watertown is scoreless at 0-0, as well as Mitchell and T area. So a lot of games started at 7 o'clock tonight going on right now. But Harrisburg and Washington's the big one tonight. I'll probably be following to see what happens there. As we kind of alluded to in your last question to Coach Poppinga, Isaac, next Friday will be the next O'Gorman broadcast against Sioux Falls Lincoln. That's a 6 p.m. start here at the MAC. Go on the air probably about 5:30 for that ball game. The Lincoln Patriots on the season will be 3-1 coming in. So won't be an easy task for O'Gorman next Friday night, Isaac.
No, not at all, and it's going to be a battle once again. The good news is you get home field advantage, you get a chance to come back, and now you really got to put it together. We had a 3-game losing streak last year. Now you've got a good opportunity. We were in the same position. I believe we were 1-3 last year at this time as well.
And then we had the 5-game winning streak till the playoff loss against Harrisburg.
Yeah, so hopefully we can turn the tide with next week against Lincoln. And then you said, like we said earlier, the schedule lightens up a little bit before that final game against Jefferson. So we'll see what happens next week here at O'Gorman High School.
Well, thank you, Isaac. Terrific job tonight on play-by-play. We'll probably be able to see Dan Scoop Johnson back next Friday night. So if you're a
hopefully
if you're a fan of him, he's at the Holy Land today right now. You'll get to hear him back next Friday night. Quick update, I'll be streaming a lot of stuff tomorrow. Soccer at 10 and noon tomorrow. Boys and girls soccer against Sioux Falls Lincoln, and then volleyball at 2:30 at O'Gorman. All on our YouTube channel, Real Presence Radio Sioux Falls. For Isaac Struck, I'm Brett Byler. Thanks for listening tonight, and we'll talk to you next Friday night from the MAC. Go Knights.
You know you can listen to the RPR network when you're on the go? Just search for Real Presence Radio in your app store. Listen live to any station across the network at any time, so you can stay connected to your local community from wherever you are. Plus, if you miss a program, the Real Presence Radio app is your one-stop shop for local and national podcasts, including our signature show, Real Presence Live. The Real Presence Radio app, with you every step of your faith journey.
Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street in Sioux Falls offers a daily buffet featuring a variety of pizza choices, salad bar, and chicken. Pizza Ranch has a spacious dining room as well as 8 party rooms that fit different group sizes. Their online menu provides another option for their customers to order from. Pizza Ranch is located across from O'Gorman High School on 41st Street and can be contacted by calling 271-8646. Pizza Ranch is a strong supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
From the Real Presence Radio Network, O'Gorman Knights Football has been brought to you in part by
Catholic Family Services, Catholic Community Foundation of Eastern South Dakota, Jardine Construction, Barnett Vision Clinic, Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools, McGuire Iron, Sioux Equipment Company, Ferendorf Family Chiropractic and Wellness, Closets and More, and JMJ Caseworks. The BB Agency, Knights of Columbus Insurance, Crossroads Book and Music, Pizza Ranch, and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street.
The preceding O'Gorman Nights activity has been a special presentation of the Real Presence Radio Network.